5 o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Tropical Storm Alberto is blamed for 3 deaths. President Biden preps for his debate with Trump, and SAWS is looking to find heavy water users. Details ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday: showers this morning, becoming steady throughout the day with a quarter of an inch expected, a high around 85. Chance of showers tonight, a low of 75. Right now, 75 degrees. Parts of Texas and Mexico saw harsh weather conditions from Tropical Storm Alberto. Fox Weather's Robert Ray reports from Corpus Christi.
The entire Texas coastline from Mexico all the way up to Louisiana and even into places like Lake Charles, southwest Louisiana, all experiencing Tropical Storm Alberto, the first system of the year and what could be an historic season according to the National Hurricane Center and the forecast that is predicted. In Corpus Christi, Texas, Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
And one resident says the flooding from the storm's drains caught him off guard.
We thought the rain was going to come down on top, but we didn't know it was going to come up through the storm drains.
Tropical Storm Alberto is expected to make landfall in northern Mexico today. The National Hurricane Center says heavy rains and gusty winds are starting to subside for the Texas coast, but should continue through this morning along northeastern Mexico. Alberto is blamed for at least 3 deaths in Mexico. Governor Abbott issued a disaster declaration for 51 Texas counties, including Bexar County. Well, a flood of new Texans is not the only thing taxing the state's power grid. Here's Rex Oates.
There's a growing worry that cryptocurrency operations will continue sucking energy off the grid in times of need. ERCOT's Dan Woodfin says Bitcoin mining and AI data centers are responsible for more than half of new demand.
We don't have as much visibility into that as what we would like. Some days that's a little nerve-wracking.
Texas can ask the high-tech companies to shut down when the grid is maxed out, which happened back in 2022. It's estimated that Texas will need to double its power generation over the next 6 years in order to keep up. I'm Rex Oates, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
San Antonio City Council will vote today on proposed higher fines and a new surcharge for heavy water users. SAWS officials say drought restrictions already in effect are not doing enough to save water. SAWS trustees last month approved proposed new rules for watering hours and irrigation, plus an added charge for the biggest water users. If council members approve, the new restrictions will take effect immediately, but higher fines and surcharges won't happen for another month. Well, it is 1 week from debate night, and President Biden is spending this week prepping for next week's exchange with former President Trump. Fox's Jared Halpern has more on Decision 2024.
President Biden is spending a lot of time between now and the debate out of Washington, scheduled to spend several days at Camp David for debate prep.
The president could be president anywhere. We have the infrastructure to do just that.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre won't detail how President Biden's time will be divided.
But I can tell you this, the president's going to continue to stay squarely focused on his duty as president of the United States.
A second debate between the current president and former president is scheduled for September in Washington. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And this comes as a new Fox News national survey shows the president with a slight edge over former President Trump for the first time since October. Well, a Juneteenth celebration in Oakland erupted into violence. Police say at least 4 people were shot, several others injured during the celebration at Lake Merritt last night. There were about 5,000 people attending the event. Police say a fight broke out before the shooting. At least 1 person was taken into custody. Well, a group of gun owners won a pack heat at the post office.
A federal lawsuit is seeking to change the gun possession rules for federal facilities. It's filed by two Texans who are backed by attorneys for the Second Amendment Foundation.
The particular federal statute and the associated federal regulation are unconstitutional under the Second Amendment.
The group's William Sachs says there is precedent for preventing guns in Congress and courthouses because they have security guards. But he says there is no protection for customers at the post office. I'm Beth Myers, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Bexar County Commissioner's Court is giving the green light to a tax incentive for the Toyota Motor Manufacturing Texas plant. Commissioners this week approved a 10-year, 100% tax abatement for the plant, which plans to bring more than 400 jobs to the area. The company says it will invest more than $500 million in the project, which will expand existing facilities and add a new standalone building. Well, the Boeing Starliner, now docked at the International Space Station, will remain in space a bit longer than originally planned.
Things seem to be going well for the Boeing Starliner spacecraft, known as Calypso, currently docked at the International Space Station in its first ever mission carrying a human crew. Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams have been visiting the station. The craft did have some issues with a thruster during its first docking attempt earlier this month. And while the crew was originally slated to visit for a week, more testing is desired. And now NASA says the spacecraft and the crew will not leave the station until June 26th. Eben Brown, Fox News.
It is 5:06, news at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy, traffic and weather coming up.
Good morning, everybody. Ray Reyes, Echo 5 Hotel, Travis, Tim from the Philippines, Rooster, Hector Gomez, and of course, the chairman of the Bexar County MAGA Republicans, coronavirus deniers, flat earthers,
Good morning,
and Marjorie Taylor Greene enthusiasts. Tracy Bogert, welcome.
Yeah,
in.
let's hear it for Tracy. Come
Tracy
on, yeah, there you
Bogert.
go, Tracy.
Tracy
There you go,
Bogert,
man.
everybody.
Way to go.
Tracy is also tracking Jewish space lasers. Charity McCurdy is in here.
Testing mic.
Testing
check,
1,
mic,
2,
mic.
3. Unbelievable.
So according to Sam, Netflix is making an entertainment hub in Dallas. Isn't that called a theater?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can experience Netflix programming in an auditorium.
Wait, you mean a theater?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, Rooster. Licking chicken. Oh, way to go, Echo. Echo, Echo, Echo. Ray Reyes, good morning. All righty then.
So Louisiana now has a law.
Yeah, see,
posters of the 10 Commandments are required in public schools.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Separation of church and state.
Yes, and if you want your kids to learn about the 10, take them to church.
Yes. The founding fathers had, were onto something with a lot of their ideas.
You can't force things
including
on people.
separation of church and state.
Can't force things on people.
And all
It should be
these
your choice.
tax-free churches.
Yeah.
I don't support
because
that either.
They make more money than they need to pay taxes as
Pay
well.
taxes.
And you see these mega churches, these guys making millions of dollars living in mansions, driving Mercedes. That's not what the Bible says about serving him.
Agree.
So don't get me started. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, so I have lots of opinions. But I did win most of the Bible drills.
Very nice.
I was very good at it.
Yeah.
Me and this girl, Mona Daniels, were the fastest, and we would go up against each other all the time, man.
Whatever happened to Mona Daniels?
I don't know. That's a good question. She was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
I was like Mona. It's like saying Mona.
Mm-hmm.
Summer, summer, summer. All righty then. What do you say? You want to do a show today, Chris?
Why not?
Let's do it.
Why the hell not?
We're here. I mean, come on. It really can. And by the way, Michael Kelly is not the rock and roll professor. There is a rock and roll professor named Michael Kelly.
Wow.
But that's not him.
That's not him.
Yes, I was informed. Don't say that. Well, then give me information.
Tracy Bogert, if I hadn't been married to the same beautiful woman for 34 years, I would ask Lauren Boebert to marry me. Very nice. And she'd be a fun date in a theater.
Oh, take her to the opera. Hell.
Right.
Stand by, Chris.
A night at the opera with Lauren Boebert.
Did you see that? Queen sold their catalog for $1.27 billion. Wow. That's amazing. That's a lot of freaking money. Yeah, I said freaking.
Welcome into this beautiful day, Thursday, June 20th, 2024. The summer solstice will be at 3:50 this afternoon, and summer will officially arrive. We are 6 days from the NBA draft, 7 days from the first presidential debate on CNN, 25 days until the Republican National Convention, 38 days until the Victor Wembanyama Olympics in Paris, 79 days until Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team opens the NFL season against Baltimore, and 138 days until the 2024 election. What could possibly go wrong? Charity McCurdy, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. I followed through on my promise to do some puddle jumping yesterday, and I took full advantage with the kids. We had a blast.
And there's video evidence of that.
Video evidence of it,
There
definitely.
is. And I love doing the slow motion, effect. I mean, you can see all the ripples in the water. It's awesome.
Yes.
What about you guys? Did you get a lot of rain?
I got a lot of rain. It was still raining this morning when I left.
A lot of rain, and I watched the next to the last episode of Dark Matter. Did you watch it?
So good. It was, I think, the best yet, actually. Wow.
There's one more. It's going to drop next Wednesday, the season finale. If you have not watched, and Charity turned me on to this show on Apple TV Plus, Dark Matter, highly, highly, highly recommend it.
All right, so a streaming suggestion on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Like that.
That's
I like
a little
that.
bonus.
That's a bonus.
We'll
I like
come
that.
up with more for tomorrow.
And I have a question for you, Chris.
Uh-oh.
Is there any ceremony or anything you do for the summer solstice?
I like to kind of meditate and become one with the cosmos and the longest day of the year and the sun and play a little Beatles. Here comes the sun.
There you go.
Yeah, here comes the sun as well.
I like it.
We'll figure something out. And of course, have an ice cold beer while you do it.
That's what I was waiting for.
Of the gods.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I can get involved in.
I achieve beervana. It's an altered state of consciousness.
Yeah, babe.
Right now, let's achieve your update on traffic and weather together.
Some showers early, then becoming steady rain later today. Highs in the mid-80s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy early, followed by increasing clouds with some showers developing later in the day. Highs right around 90 degrees. And on Saturday, a few clouds early. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Highs in the low 90s. 75 degrees at City Base. 75 in Monte Vista and 74 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 5:14.
San Antonio's first news. That's Mr. T, Tim Merriman. She's Charity McCurdy. I'm Chris Duell. Andrew Zimmel wearing his retro Fiesta colors Spurs cap, flying the Millennium Falcon, and he is directing our live video feed on YouTube. Go to YouTube, look for us at 1200 WOAI. There's a live video chat, and even Charity McCurdy already chatting in the video chat this morning.
It's always fun. You never know where the conversation might go in the comments. I try to respond when I get an opportunity, but I just love seeing our loyal listeners that are always there. They wake up early like we do. So much respect.
They're there before we get here.
We turn on the feed and
they're already
there's
sitting
Tracy Bogart and Sam Tobias, Echo 5
Rooster.
Hotel. Rooster, yeah.
Were you guys giving Tracy a round of applause earlier? Did I see?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
What brought that on?
Well, Tracy mentioned he's been married for 34 years. Now, he is the chairman of the Bexar County MAGA Republicans. And he said if he weren't married happily for 34 years, he would ask Lauren Boebert, the congresswoman from Colorado, to marry him.
I hear she loves live Broadway shows. That may be your end.
She's
right
a
there.
great date at the opera. A night at the opera with Lauren Boebert will be memorable from what I hear.
Beetlejuice.
Yes. All right. Lots more coming up. And we're going to talk about, have you seen this viral video out of Dallas? The dude in the SUV running over two guys on bicycles. It is gruesome. It is frightening, but it poses a lot of questions. We'll talk about that coming up. WOAI News Time 516.
And we're back.
Scott Mercer, welcome in. Good morning. Can't believe we just said on the radio that Tracy Bogart would.
I know.
Ask Lauren
Way to go.
Boebert.
Yeah, they won't be chatting anymore.
Bogart. Yeah, but Boebert.
Oh, that would be her hyphenated name.
Yeah, she'd be
Boebert.
Lauren Boebert.
Bogart. That's just fun to say. I'm in. Ben W.
Yes. Activists spray Stonehenge orange. You little twerps.
Stalled video. What?
Yeah.
I know. And they arrested,
luckily, one guy came in
him.
and grabbed the other. They should have knocked the crap out of him.
Man.
Tracy says, you guys are making me cry. Sorry, man.
Tears of laughter, I hope?
Yes. Summer solstice at SA International Airport. Interesting.
What's happening everywhere, Chris?
Yeah, it is happening.
It's not just that.
In the Northern Hemisphere.
By the way, 24, we've got a heavy clock and we got race staging at 5:40. So.
Ooh. Okay. Let me, and I don't have my
keyboard. Oh, no. Oh, I thought you didn't bring it.
I have it.
Oh.
I just don't have it ready.
Thank God you got it fixed, Travis. I was really worried about that. Scott Mercer. Good morning, Scott. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow, look at that radar all of Mexico.
I know. We're getting hit, man.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Now, if I'm 0.5% Neanderthal, and I am, according to
he's got to be at least 20.
Paul Morales has to be 20% Neanderthal. I'm just saying. There's a Netflix documentary on Neanderthals.
Is it really?
Yeah, it looks. I've watched like the first third of it just to catch up with it. True story.
Catch up with your family.
My
roots.
23 and me DNA profile. I am 0.5% Neanderthal. And these Geico commercials are causing me great stress.
They should. Because it's so easy. Even a caveman can do it, Chris. Come on.
So rude. I'm tired of the suppression of my people. At least Phil Hartman portrayed us well in Frozen Caveman
Yes,
Lawyer.
He did.
Yes.
Yes, he did. Stand by, Chris.
Okay. Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together. And yes, we are keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Alberto coming up at 5:40. Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic will bring us the latest on that. Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
The Texas coast is getting a break from continuous rainfall as Tropical Storm Alberto nears Mexico's coast. The Supreme Court could issue its ruling on former President Trump's immunity case as soon as today. And a Beaumont man is under arrest for the murder of a woman who disappeared 25 years ago. We'll have more coming up right now. Traffic and weather together.
How much rain are we going to get still? We welcome in News 4 San Antonio meteorologist Jeanette Kaye. Good morning, Jeanette. Thanks, Jeanette. 75 degrees in Alamo Heights, 75 in Terrell Hills, and 74 here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 522.
San Antonio's first news. If you've been paying attention to social media, maybe you saw it, a horrifying video coming out of the Dallas area. In fact, it took place near Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. An SUV driving behind two bicyclists. He rams the bicyclists, knocking them down. Then he runs over one of the bicyclists. The guy he ran over was a 69-year-old doctor, and the guy driving the vehicle identified as 31-year-old Benjamin Highlander. He is, according to police, a cargo worker for American Airlines. Half a dozen empty beer cans in his SUV. He failed a sobriety test. One of the most god-awful videos I've seen lately, Charity.
I can't believe the second bicyclist survived.
Yeah.
It looked like he took a direct hit from the tires of that SUV, but I think his bicycle ended up saving him. But it was just terrifying to see, and those two bicyclists are just so lucky to be alive. But it really poses the question, how do you feel about sharing the road with bicyclists? I'm kind of conflicted on the issue because they have laws in place for golf carts. They can't be on roads with a speed limit above 35 mile per hour. So why do we allow bicyclists to be on access roads where the speed limit could be 45 miles per hour plus? There's times I just see them kind of crowding and taking over the roadway. They're not over to the right-hand side as they should be. So I'm sure I'm going to get some hate email for that comment, but just curious to know your thoughts.
Oh, I think I have a hard time with bicycles on the road because people can't even see motorcycles. Yeah. Bike lanes are one thing, but on, regular roads, maybe they shouldn't be out there. I mean, maybe it's time we did something about that. Maybe we should ask the people, Chris.
Let's do that. A lot of bicyclists get killed, and we'll tell you what the prize is coming up a little bit later. But go to the free iHeartRadio app. It's a free download. Go to the Talkback feature. It's a microphone button. Press that. You got 30 seconds. Leave us your thoughts on sharing the road with bicyclists. We'll talk more about that. Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel coming up with all your comprehensive weather coverage. WOAI News Time 524.
Here's the people. Hello.
M1A1, welcome in. Wow. Southwest Airlines selling $53 tickets to anywhere?
Well, yes and no. Yes, but
lots of restrictions.
Yes, exactly. I went on their website this morning because I saw it's in one of our quick hits or lifestyle thing. I went on there and like, say you want to go to Hawaii, because you can
You're
do
not
that
going for $53.
Yeah, you can,
Wow.
but there's like you got to fly like on a certain date, a certain time only.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So you got to have that luxury of being able to go when you want to go.
Yeah.
Now going like to Dallas or something like that, you can probably go anytime.
Sure.
But if you want to go like, taking full advantage of it and go to Hawaii, there's restrictions, a lot of restrictions.
Yeah, on bicycles, you hear horrible, tragic stories of bicyclists getting killed seemingly every few months in the San Antonio area, usually on 1604 or somewhere. So, yet, and again, like she said, she's conflicted. What if you have a bicycle and you want to travel that way? I've often thought, before I had the knee issue, I've often thought, get a bicycle and just see what it would be like to ride a bicycle to work. But I mean, you're risking your life driving it in the dark at 3:30 in the morning.
And Chris, I used to own a motorcycle. I owned a motorcycle for 48 hours, got hit by an 88-year-old lady, ran a stop sign, ran right into me, didn't drop the bike, thank God. I was not wearing a helmet, broke my ankle, and I sold the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And the problem is, it was a blast. I loved it. But there's other people that just can't see you.
Will take you out.
Yeah, just can't see it. It was stupid me not wearing a helmet. I was only going down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what usually happens.
Mm.
Yeah. But I think if you're going to get on a bicycle, you should be in a place where you're not in traffic.
Yeah.
Because like that guy, those two bicyclists, they're not their fault. Trust me, not their fault.
Yeah.
The other guy was totally at fault. But that's the risk you take by getting on a road.
They were in the middle of the road.
I know.
And he was drunk out of his mind.
That's the problem.
So he didn't slow down.
You don't know what that person in that car, you don't know what, they could be looking at their phone.
And most people are.
They are.
Yep.
Thank you, Tracy. That's why mine stays in my pocket. That's why I didn't get a picture of the Cadillac with the Deadhead sticker on it, because my phone was in my pocket.
Should have chased him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray, that's one of the problems. We don't have all of the engineering down. We hope to work on that stuff to pull it all in and to get 3 cameras and Charity, and there's actually more cameras, but 3 of us on camera and Charity's news. It's just kind of...
we get her news.
Oh, I know. I know that. But I'm saying to get all of the elements, including the weather you're looking for.
Which is what we should be doing, because they don't hear any of the yacht rock stuff. They don't hear any of the beds. Unless I play it, they don't hear it. So we need to work on that. Tim, when you used to ride from Universal City to Waldron Road, did you have any close calls? Just curious.
Yeah, and Tracy, you make a great point, and I'm conscious of that some people can't afford cars.
Yeah.
And a bicycle might be an alternative for them for transportation. So maybe we need more bicycle lanes.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
I've seen them. They do exist, but not very many. Yeah, as a kid, that's how I got around. Was on a bicycle.
We used to go all over the place.
Yeah. That was my 10-speed, man. That was my car.
Charity McCurdy is coming up with all the news that you need to know. Then Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic. I'm going to stretch.
I still got a minute and a half. Charity. All right, guys, enjoy Charity's newscast. You're here for the eye candy. Here she comes.
5:31 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, the latest on Tropical Storm Alberto. More blockbuster rulings from the High Court could be issued today, and a Beaumont man has been arrested for a 25-year-old murder. Details ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Showers this morning becoming steady throughout the day. A high of 85. Chance for more showers tonight. A low of 75. Right now, 75 degrees. Well, the South Texas Gulf Coast was spared a direct hit from Tropical Storm Alberto, but the effects are still being felt.
Red flag warnings are posted along Texas beaches and places like Port Aransas due to high winds and waves over 12 feet. But this family from Illinois tells 2 News Houston they weren't about to let that ruin their vacation.
We love it no matter what, just to get out of Illinois.
This Corpus Christi woman says they used Alberto as a dry run to test their storm prepping.
Put batteries in our flashlights. We, had our cell phones charged and had our battery banks filled and did all that just in case, because you never know.
Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Tropical Storm Alberto, which is nearing the Mexico coast, is prompting a disaster declaration for 51 Texas counties. Governor Abbott issued the declaration yesterday that includes Bear, Bandera, and Live Oak. The Beaumont man is under arrest for the murder of a woman who disappeared in 1999. Kimberly Langwell was reported missing after she went to her ex-boyfriend's house to pick up some of her belongings. Her car was found abandoned, but no trace of Langwell was found until Texas EquiSearch recently discovered her remains. A search of her 67-year-old ex-boyfriend Terry Rose's home in Beaumont reportedly turned up evidence related to her disappearance. Beaumont police arrested Rose on a charge of murder. Well, President Biden is now ahead of former President Trump in the latest Fox News general election matchup poll. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has the latest on Decision 2024.
For the first time since October, President Biden is ahead of former President Trump in the Fox News poll by 2 points. The president is favored by women, specifically white women with college degrees, urban voters, and those over 65. Former President Trump is favored by men, white men without college degrees, and evangelical voters. Independents favor President Biden by 9 points. Fox pollsters say a shift in how voters feel about the economy may be playing a role. 32% say the economy is in good or fair shape. That is up 15 points from a low point in July 2 years ago. In a 5-way race with Jill Stein and Cornel West, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets 10%, leaving President Biden with 43% support. That's just 1 point more than former President Trump. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Meantime, the Supreme Court is expected to release more decisions on controversial cases. Here's Fox's Kristen Goodwin.
Supreme Court justices could soon rule on whether to preserve a federal law that prohibits people under domestic violence restraining orders from having guns. The case involves a Texas man accused of hitting his girlfriend and threatening to shoot her. Justice is also expected to decide whether the Sackler family, which used to control Purdue Pharma, maker of OxyContin, should be immune from future lawsuits linked to the opioid crisis. Purdue Pharma agreeing to pay $6 billion to settle thousands of claims against it. The High Court will weigh in on whether that deal is legal. And the court still has yet to rule on former President Trump's claim of immunity from federal election subversion charges after hearing arguments in April. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
A total of 131 scholarships across Texas are on hold or being modified as a result of new state law. Senate Bill 17 is a ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs at public universities in Texas. As universities implement the law, which went into effect in January, scholarships intended for recipients of a certain race or sex are being affected. The scholarships include 80 at Texas A&M campuses, 45 at University of Texas affiliated schools, and 63 other public universities. Well, the Border Patrol in Texas is warning about illegal immigration during what's expected to be another brutally hot summer.
In El Paso, they've begun averaging more than 100 degrees a day, Operation Lone Star, forcing illegal immigrants into more rural areas, leading to a rise in near-death rescues. Agent Refugio Corrales says the smugglers don't care about the migrant safety.
They're giving them just like a glass of water per day, so it just makes it that much harder when they hit these triple digits.
So far this year, 690 people have been saved. That's 100 more than last year, and we're nowhere near the peak of summer. And so far, there have been 9 heat-related deaths in the sector. Michael Board, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Louisiana is now the first state to officially require the 10 Commandments to be displayed in all public classrooms. The new law calls for a poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments to be put up in all classrooms from kindergarten through public universities by the beginning of next year. Critics have questioned whether or not the law is constitutional, with some saying lawsuits are likely. It is 5:37 now with breaking crime news from around the country. Here's Nancy Grace. Traffic and weather together in a minute. But first, a check of your money and the world of business. We say good morning to Ed Corey live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, thanks, Ed. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news, Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Well, all eyes on Tropical Storm Alberto. Let's get the latest from Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic. Ray, what's the latest on Alberto and how will it continue to affect South Texas?
Alberto nearing the coast of Mexico, the center anyway. And don't forget, we don't just concentrate on the center, but for the sake of this discussion for now, let's do that, as it's about 40 miles to the east of Tampico, Mexico, as of the 4 a.m. advisory from the Hurricane Center. Winds at 50 and moving west at about 13 miles per hour. So imminent landfall here, most likely this morning. Looks like they've dropped all the watches and warnings on the Texas coast. So just through parts of east coast of Mexico, tropical storm warnings in place. Heavy rain and gusty winds starting to back down, but still some rain to go. More widely scattered stuff with kind of this tropical flow around this real broad circulation here from Alberto, our first storm in the Atlantic Basin this season.
And Ray, I know I experienced some steady rainfall yesterday. So how much rain did we get in Bexar County and surrounding areas?
Most of us in Bexar County averaged about a half to 3/4 of an inch. The airport officially 0.79, had just over an inch just north of town. It was kind of strange because we had it look like a band of some heavier showers that actually passed north in the Hays and Comal counties, where they had an inch and a half in Hays County and one of the rain gauges up there. And then as you went east and got into Wilson County, inch and a half to 2 inches, and then closer to places like Victoria and out near the coast, that's where we saw 2 to 4, even 5 or 6 inches of rain. Had a couple of feet of water rise too. I mean, a very broad circulation, and along the coast we did see some inundation, and it looks like even that will start to subside here, but didn't see any big problems with at least inland flooding as the rain came down. It came down hard at times in spots, but we had a couple of flash flood warnings, but certainly not hard enough to produce widespread flash flooding. At least that's the way it has been. There are some advisories down toward our south as you get down near Duval and even on into areas in southern South County. That's a flash flood warning that's in effect this morning, but it looks like that rain is progressive and moving away.
So what about that other disturbance that was right on top of Alberto? How did that work out?
Yeah, see, everybody is paying attention. Yeah, but we've actually got another disturbance now that the Hurricane Center in the next 7 days does put a 50% chance on having development with. So that's the next system that may bring some rain back in the forecast for some of us as we look ahead toward the upcoming weekend. So that one now sitting out over, they kind of moved it again down toward the south and relocated over Central America. So it moves into the Western Gulf and the Gulf of Mexico on Friday, and low percentage chance, 10% in 48 hours. And then in 7 days, a depression possible, maybe a tropical storm. That chance now is up to 50%. So right now, the hot spot in the Atlantic Basin looks like it's the Western Gulf right now. So have to keep an eye on that for rain chances potentially going back up.
We will do that. Our thanks to Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic. Coming up, we go back in time in Flashback. Let's try to figure out what year we land in. WOAI News Time, 5:45.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Boop. Happy Friday Eve, Tommy.
Hello, Tommy Miller. Welcome in. Welcome, everybody.
I can't believe you got pulled over for speeding, Tim, on a bicycle. That's great. That's awesome. Cool. So easy you can do it in your underwear. Okay, now we're sitting on 2.
Beautiful.
Or a good teacher. And okay, so we got 2.
Decent. Second one's decent.
Yeah. It's Stephen,
Cool.
our school teacher in Lytle.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He thinks that they do belong on roads, just not on the interstate or the loops, which I have no problem with that. But if you're taking your bike onto a road that there's traffic on, there's cars on, you're putting your life in danger, I think.
I agree.
I mean, it's your choice. It's America. You can do what you want, but you got to know that something bad could happen. And it's not you, it's the people in the cars. We see it. We've talked about it. I don't know how many times. People just don't pay attention when they're driving at all. Mm.
$105 in 2023 today, a year ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow. See, you would have been closer last year to your.
Yeah.
So was it 72?
70.
70. Okay.
Yeah.
Charity's probably going to win that too, because she had what, 60 or 40 or 50 or something like that.
Somewhere.
So I think I'm in the middle.
You have 52, Charity 62, me
Okay,
70.
so I'm the low side. I could win this one.
There were 74 in 2023.
Right.
Days at or above 100.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, we're not even in July or August yet, man.
True.
We could roll off a string of days.
Yeah.
So I'm not confident at all in my prediction. I was at the time, just not now. Mm.
Oh, I got to text Randy Beamer today, see what he wants to talk about.
And we're going to do them 2 segments again?
I would think so.
Okay. Stand by, Chris.
I'll write that on my list. It is time to go back in time, but what year will we land in? You try to figure it out. We'll try to figure it out. Let's play Flashback. Mm.
Ah, ding.
Mr. T, you dinged in. You think
1975.
I am with you. Charity?
Yeah.
75. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Mr. T nails it.
Jaws.
Jaws
I
in the
admit-
theater when it
yes,
first came
yes.
out. Wow.
By the way, it's not as good on TV as it was in the theater.
No, it was great on the theater. And the theme song was so perfect.
And did Love actually keep Captain and Tennille together?
No, and I heard the captain was kind of a jerk to Tennille.
figures.
That's a whole nother story. Charity McCurdy, what stories are you tracking?
3 people in Mexico are dead from Tropical Storm Alberto, which is nearing landfall. President Biden is prepping for his face-off with former President Trump next Thursday, and San Antonio is planning its 4th of July celebration at Woodlawn Lake Park. We'll have more coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Showers early and then more steady rain this afternoon. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers. Highs in low 90s. Saturday, a few clouds early. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Highs in the low 90s. It is 75 degrees in Monte Vista, 75 in Castle Hills, 74 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 5:53.
San Antonio's first news, Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman, I'm Chris Duell. Charlie Parker will be along with Those Were the Days at 6:48. Andrew Zimmel flying the Millennium Falcon and directing the YouTube live video stream. Go to 1200 WOAI at YouTube and you can watch that. And after that horrible viral video that a lot of us saw yesterday, the SUV running down 2 bicyclists near Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, we're asking you about sharing the roads with bicycles. Do you like it? Is it a good idea? Should things be changed? And Mr. T, we're giving away a good prize today.
Yes, not 1, but 2 pairs of tickets to see the music of Led Zeppelin with the San Antonio Philharmonic Orchestra this Saturday at the Majestic Theater. Plus, 1 lucky winner, Chris, 1 lucky winner will win a Michael Kelly guitar. We'll draw for that tomorrow.
Very nice. And we're looking for a guitar player in our band.
Yes.
Chopped liver.
Well, we found out yesterday Charity actually can play a little bit if we can just work out the Pink Floyd. Yeah.
It's been too long. I would have to learn it all over again. Yeah.
But we can jam.
Maybe we could be a Pink Floyd tribute band. All right. What do we got, Mr. T?
We got a couple. Let's go to the first one.
Good morning, WOAI. Yeah, the bicycle laws, that's one I really struggle with because even though it's legal, that doesn't mean it's safe. I struggle with someone who can ride a bike on a road with vehicles and have trust with those vehicles coming up behind you. And Charity, yes, you're right. You will get hate email because that group seems to be relentless. Y'all have a good day.
That's a very thoughtful message. It's legal, but is it safe? And it doesn't seem very safe to me.
Yeah, you're putting your life in the hands of other people.
Big time.
Yeah. All right, let's go to our favorite school teacher out in Lytle.
Hey, Mr. T, Chris, and Charity, Stephen from Lytle. And yes, bicycles belong on the roads, not the interstates or the loops. The speed is too fast, but they belong on the residential streets for sure. And my wife and son and I used to ride around the neighborhood in Lytle for years. We need to get back to it. But most people are considerate. There's a few that rev their engine and drive around you real fast, but none of us are that important. So slow down and share the road. Have a great day.
Another great call.
That's a good point. Yeah.
My biggest concern, Charity, is younger people looking at their phones while they're driving. And that's what you veer off the road, you can take somebody out.
Yeah, distracted driving is a big problem, and a lot of people just don't expect to see a bicyclist on an access road. It always catches me by surprise. I know San Antonio has bike lanes, but still, it's a scary sight when you see them on a roadway where the speed limit's at least 45 miles per hour.
Keep those talkbacks coming. You could win those tickets to hear the music of Led Zeppelin with the San Antonio Philharmonic at the Majestic Theater. You might win a guitar as well. WOAI News Time, 5:56.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody.
It's interesting, though, because both of those were very good.
Yeah,
and
I
both of them
agree.
very, very on point.
Yes, yes, yes.
Very funny, Tim.
Yeah, after I saw Jaws in the theater, there was a guy named Jeff Blevins who we grew up with. We went and saw it again. It was the first time Jeff Blevins saw it. I sat behind him. So remember that scene when they go underneath the boat
Yes.
and that head comes
Yes.
out of the bottom of the boat?
Yes.
As I was right over him, as he jumped out of his seat, I grabbed his shoulders and threw him back down in his seat.
Oh.
And he was screaming.
Oh, wow.
He was screaming in the theater.
I remember being in the theater, and I went and saw it at the Century South. Remember the Century South
Yeah.
over there, Military and 35? And when that head came out, people screamed out loud.
It was
it was jarring.
scary moment.
Yes,
yeah.
it was.
So
I saw it
good.
more than once in the theater also because, like you, I had friends that hadn't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
Yeah.
And so we went and saw it again.
Yeah.
I didn't do mean things like you did,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I was a mean kid.
Yeah. You, what do you were?
And then I remember, so then I go to the coast and I swim out to like the second sandbar by myself. And then in my head, I start hearing the music. Dun, 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 dun. And I got so spooked. I swam as fast as I could back to the shore.
That turned a lot of people off from
Yeah.
going into the ocean. My problem is when I go in the ocean, when I go out past the second sandbar, I see shadows.
Yeah.
In that
It's scary.
yeah, especially the big shadows.
And then when something rubs by your leg, you don't know
that's
what
the
it
other
is.
one.
Yeah.
That's the other one.
Mhm.
I will give you this tip because I did a lot of research on sharks when I was in seventh grade. I did a term paper on them and actually got an A+. If it feels like sandpaper on you, that's a shark.
Yikes.
Or a dolphin.
Yeah, I just don't go in much at all. I mean, I have that little chair that
See, that's
sits
what
in
I
the
do.
surf.
That's what I
I'll
do.
drink my beer and I'll sit in the surf.
That's what I do. I sit in
And
the
that's
surf,
about it.
sit in the surf and
Yeah.
drink a beer and watch people.
That's all I need.
Yeah. Yeah, those days of me going and swimming out there now, those are done. Done, done, done. But yeah, my wife, since that movie, will not go out. She'll walk into ankle deep, and that's about as far as she goes. She'll sit in the chair with me, next to me, but she will not go out there.
No need.
No?
No need.
Yeah. I was brave when I was younger. I'm not brave anymore. Maybe I'm just smarter now.
Yeah.
Well, that's debatable, but yes. You call him
Charity McCurdy coming up with all your big news on this Thursday morning.
Friday Eve.
Friday Eve, first day of summer solstice coming up at 3:50. We got to remember, you got to play the Alexa, and then what's the other one you got?
I got the summer one we're going to do at 7:10 in our
Right.
Wait Till You Hear This.
We got
summer.
But there was
parody.
one other thing other than Alexa.
Oh, the Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
Yes, that's a good one. I like the Justin Timberlake one.
So what are we doing at 6? More Alberto?
That's what I have down. What do you think?
We could do the Justin Timberlake.
I'm okay with that because now it looks like I got a story where his lawyer is going to fight for him. Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
You want to do that? That way you can play it?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm okay with that, always. Yes, Justin Timberlake's attorney is the same guy that, let's see, who did he represent? No, he just him. It's his attorney. He's in court July 26th.
.601 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Tropical Storm Alberto is blamed for 3 deaths. President Biden is prepping for his debate with Trump, and SAWS is looking to find heavy water users. Details ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday: showers this morning, becoming steady throughout the day, a high of 85. Chance of showers tonight, a low of 75. Right now, 75 degrees. Well, parts of Texas saw harsh weather conditions from Tropical Storm Alberto. Fox Weather's Robert Ray reports from Corpus Christi.
The entire Texas coastline from Mexico all the way up to Louisiana and even into places like Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana, all experiencing Tropical Storm Alberto, the first system of the year and what could be an historic season according to the National Hurricane Center and the forecast that is predicted. In Corpus Christi, Texas, Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
And one resident says the flooding from the storm drains caught him off guard.
We thought the rain was going to come down on top, but we didn't know it was going to come up through the storm drains.
Meantime, Governor Abbott has issued a disaster declaration for 51 Texas counties as Tropical Storm Alberto slowly moves into northern Mexico.
The storm is causing widespread showers, even though Texas is missing the brunt of it. Among the counties included in the declaration are Bexar, Atascosa, and Bandera counties, as well as counties in far south Texas and along the Texas Gulf Coast. Alberto is expected to cause ongoing coastal flooding through this week. Emergency response teams remain on standby as Abbott urges all Texans in at-risk areas to remain weather aware and heed the guidance of state and local officials. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
San Antonio City Council will vote today on proposed higher fines and a new surcharge for heavy water users. South officials say drought restrictions already in effect are not doing enough to save water. South trustees last month approved proposed new rules for watering hours and irrigation, plus an added charge for the biggest water users. If council members approve, the new restrictions will take effect immediately, but higher fines and surcharges won't happen for another month. It is 1 week from debate night. President Biden is spending the week prepping for next week's exchange with former President Trump. Fox's Jared Halpern has more on Decision 2024.
President Biden is spending a lot of time between now and the debate out of Washington, scheduled to spend several days at Camp David for debate prep.
The president could be president anywhere. We have the infrastructure to do just that.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre won't detail how President Biden's time will be divided.
But I can tell you this, the president's going to continue to stay squarely focused on his duty as president of the United States.
A second debate between the current president and former president is scheduled for September in Washington. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And this comes as a new Fox News national survey shows the president with a slight edge over former President Trump for the first time since October. Well, a Juneteenth celebration in Oakland erupted into violence. Police say at least 4 people were shot, several others injured during the celebration last night. There were about 5,000 people attending the event. Police say a fight broke out before the shooting. At least one person was taken into custody. Well, a group of gun owners want to pack heat at the post office.
A federal lawsuit is seeking to change the gun possession rules for federal facilities. It's filed by 2 Texans who are backed by attorneys for the Second Amendment Foundation.
The particular federal statute and the associated federal regulation are unconstitutional under the Second Amendment.
The group's William Sachs says there is precedent for preventing guns in Congress and courthouses because they have security guards. But he says there is no protection for customers at the post office. I'm Beth Myers, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Bexar County Commissioners Court is giving the green light to a tax incentive for the Toyota Motor Manufacturing Texas plant. Commissioners this week approved a 10-year, 100% tax abatement for the plant, which plans to bring more than 400 jobs to the area. Well, today marks the official start of summer.
The summer solstice is here. It's known as the first official day of summer because astronomers consider it the beginning of the season in the northern hemisphere, according to NASA. It's also called the longest day of the year. There are still 24 hours, but today will have the most daylight we'll see all year. The Old Farmer's Almanac says the summer solstice is not always on the same day. It currently shifts between June 20th, 21st, and 22nd. This year, the first day of summer is expected to be a scorcher, with heat advisory stretching from Indiana into the northeast U.S. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
It is 6:06. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news, Mr. T, Tim Merriman, Charity McCurdy, Charlie Parker with Those Were the Days coming at you at 6:48 this morning. I'm Chris Duell. Andrew Zimmel flying the Millennium Falcon solo. He's also directing our live video feed on YouTube. Go to YouTube, look for 1200 WOAI. You can jump into the feed. There's a live video chat there as well. You can chat with us and other viewers in real time. As we roll forward, the latest on Justin Timberlake. Is he planning on going to rehab after his DWI arrest? We'll get into that and more. But first, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Showers early, evolving into more steady rain this afternoon, highs and low to mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers, highs and low 90s. Saturday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny, highs in the low 90s. It is 75 at Lackland Air Force Base, 75 at Randolph Air Force Base, 74 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 611.
San Antonio's first news in the aftermath of his DWI arrest in the Hamptons. According to TMZ, Justin Timberlake has no plans to check into a rehab facility. Apparently, it is not uncommon for Hollywood types to take proactive steps like that after a drug or alcohol-related arrest because it makes you look good before a judge. Before we talk Justin Timberlake, Mr. T, let's get in the mood with a little Justin Timberlake music.
You got it.
Won't get your license back. Just one martini, who came up with that? Bloodshot, mugshot, you had shots, that's a fact. The cops like Justin, who? Aw, snap. Should've took a lift.
Charity, how did that cop not know who Justin Timberlake was?
Because he's probably a young cop and not everybody worships JT. So, I'm not completely surprised by that.
Wow, and you did not like his mugshot. You were not moved by his mugshot.
I just call me a mugshot elitist, Chris. I just don't find Justin Timberlake that attractive. He just doesn't do it for me. I've said that before, and I know I'm in the minority. Sorry. I know he's just in San Antonio, but
so first you go after Christopher Cross's looks.
Oh, I never said anything about his looks. I don't recall that.
I read between the lines.
Okay.
Yeah, that's rough.
Subtext.
That's rough. Because I think, as far as mugshots go, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah. On his world tour, and apparently he appears in Chicago this weekend, I think they need to sell the mugshot t-shirt charity with the words free JT on the t-shirt. It could be a big seller at the concert.
Or just go with the world tour name. Forget tomorrow. I mean, he was drinking so much. He probably forgot tomorrow.
So wasted. I totally forget tomorrow.
Now, his eyes were bloodshot in that mugshot.
Well, it was 12:30 at night.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
One hell of a lemon drop martini. You know?
Well, you didn't say how big it was. You just said you had one. It could have been a gallon. Who knows? But I just had one.
Just thankfully nobody was hurt. That's
amen to
the
that,
huge takeaway there.
Yeah, we were making light of Justin Timberlake himself. But bottom line for everybody, if you're rich like Justin Timberlake or you're not, either don't drive, get a ride, designate a driver, get an Uber. There's a lot of solutions when you're out there drinking.
The main thing is don't drive.
No.
That's it.
And that idiot in the SUV up in Dallas apparently was drunk, had a lot of empty beer cans when he ran over the two bicyclists. We'll talk more about that coming up as well. WOAI News Time 6:15.
And we're back. I got two.
Beautiful.
Two. Stephen from Lidl sent another one in because he said he didn't get to finish his first one.
Hey, we're all about that. You can do that.
Yeah, he goes off on the cell phones, people on their cell phones. Okay.
I mean, we should nail people almost as hard on that using your cell phone while driving.
I agree. I
And
think it's just as
DWI.
bad.
Yes.
It's as bad as drunk driving.
People are getting killed.
Yes.
And it's mainly younger drivers
I hate to be
who are less
that
experienced
guy, but
drivers.
Yes, it's younger people. And you know, of course, I've seen all ages, but the majority are younger. And I've seen them, you know, you see those ones where they got the little holder.
Yeah.
And you know, that's great because you're looking at it, but then they're sitting there,
Don't be messing with it.
hitting buttons and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that's the same thing as having it in your hand.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not in your hand, but I mean, I have the Bluetooth in my car, so if, you know, somebody calls me, I can answer it if I feel like it. If I feel like answering it, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Vinny Vinzetta has lasted
he has.
long in this market.
Yeah, he has. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yes.
By all, I mean, I read his Facebook.
He's good. I like him.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, I like
by
him.
all accounts. Yeah.
Filet burgers.
If you're a good human being,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Amen. I'm bringing sexy babe.
Yes, Tim, the SUV driver did not pass a sobriety test. Is what the reporting says.
No. And he had enough evidence in the car.
And he was an American Airlines cargo worker.
Is the
yeah, it
appropriate-
happened.
yes.
He was wearing his union T-shirt. It happened near DFW, so he was either getting off work or on his way to work.
Well, hopefully he was not on his way to work. Well, that could explain a lot why the bags end up where they're not supposed to be.
Airlines.
I saw a story this morning. This lady's bag got lost. She was flying from Burbank to someplace, and when she came back, her bag didn't make it, and she had an air tag in it. Well, she saw that it went to Denver and then to LA, and then finally it came back to Burbank. But it wasn't at the airport. They said they were delivering it to her house. So she went and tracked down the air tag. It ended up in a homeless camp.
Wow.
All her clothes most of her clothes she got back, but her bag she never saw again. She paid a homeless guy to give her clothes back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I put air tags in my bags. It's
not a bad idea.
It's it's interesting to track them. And then you land and your bag's here. It's like when we just went to Vegas in May, it's like, all right, when we landed back in San, it's like, all right, the bags are here.
Yep. It's not a bad idea. Oh, great. Our stuff went out.
Okay. It always happens right before we go back on the air, so I don't have enough time to.
I know. We got a minute.
Address it.
Hold on to it.
Oh yeah. Down they go. Down they go. Studios of the future.
Here it goes. Here it goes. They're showing it on Fox.
All right.
Oh, okay, they stopped
Now,
it.
was this on a rear camera on a vehicle ahead of?
I can't figure out where it came from
because it's moving. I'm assuming it's rear,
somebody in front of them.
Yeah. And if this guy didn't have the camera running.
Oh, I know. Then it would have been.
Yeah.
It's just god awful that he runs over that guy.
But they're in the lane.
Yeah. Okay.
Granted, they don't deserve to be run down. But
that's
you're
where
right
you're
in the
taking
middle
your
of
life.
a road
You're taking
where
your
cars are going 50.
There was his mugshot. You're taking your life in your own hands, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think a bicycle helmet's enough. When you go up against a car, you're going to lose.
Yes, you will.
Okay. Still got two.
Okay.
This is our Uber driver, Joaquin.
Outstanding.
Stand by.
Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together, and we're getting your reaction in the aftermath of that gruesome video out of Dallas, that SUV driver running over two bicyclists. Your thoughts on sharing the roads with bicycles. Is it cool? Do we need to amend the laws? Should things change? How do you feel? Your talkback's coming up. But first, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
The tropical storm warning for Alberto has been lifted for Texas, but continues along the Mexico coast. A Fox News poll is showing President Biden ahead of former President Trump for the first time since October. And today marks the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. We'll have more coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Showers early, becoming steady rain later today, highs in the mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers, highs in the low 90s. Saturday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny, highs in the low 90s. It is 75 in Leon Springs, 75 in Schertz, and 74 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 621.
San Antonio's first news. We've been reacting to this video that has gone viral out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In fact, it happened very close to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. In fact, it was an American Airlines cargo worker driving an SUV, later found to have multiple empty beer cans in the vehicle. The driver did not pass a sobriety test. He hits two bicyclists. One he runs over directly with the wheels of the SUV. Luckily, both bicyclists are going to be okay. That one bicyclist that was run over was a 69-year-old doctor, Charity. And just one thing, and we just looked at the video again here, Mr. T and I, Charity, and those bicyclists, they don't deserve to be run over, of course, but they're not to the side of the road. They're right in the middle of the lane where other cars are going 40, 50, 60 and faster, and then they get run over from behind.
Yeah, and in this case, clearly the driver was impaired. Had, as you mentioned, at least 6 empty beer cans in his vehicle. But I think for most drivers that are completely sober, they don't expect to see a gang of bicyclists in the middle of a road, especially where the speed limit exceeds 40 miles per hour. And I think that's where the real danger lies.
Yeah, because it could be something that the sun gets in their eyes and they don't see the bike and they just hit them. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong that might not be the driver's of the car's fault, but you're putting your life at risk just getting on that road in your bicycle if you're in a thoroughfare like that.
And so often we talked about it, distracted drivers, especially with cell phones, cause a lot of accidents that kill people. Now, we've asked people on the free iHeartRadio app their thoughts on sharing the road with bicycle riders. And we're going to give away to 2 of our Talkback listeners. We've got tickets to hear the music of Led Zeppelin with the San Antonio Philharmonic Orchestra this Saturday night at the Majestic Theater. One lucky winner, you'll have a 1 in 5 shot if you're a winner, is going to win that Michael Kelly guitar.
Yes, and I did find out who the singer for the Led Zeppelin music will be. Former Zebra lead singer Randy Jackson.
Randy Jackson, I loved his work on American Idol.
It wasn't even Forgotten Jackson.
Yo, dog, it just was pitchy for me. It was just pitchy for me. He was great.
He was great. And now he's doing this. I mean,
yeah, wow.
Who knew? All right, let's go. Stephen from Lytle ran out of time, so he sent another one in.
Hey guys, this is Stephen from Lytle again, and I ran out of time on my first one, but y'all were actually talking about this right after you played my first talk back. The cell phones, people driving on their cell phones, that's what's going to get people on bicycles hurt or worse. So get off your boop cell phone when you're driving. Look, I censored myself, so you don't have to. Y'all have a great day.
Yeah, Charity,
self-censoring.
I think cell phone use while driving, we should nail people almost as much as we nail them for drunk driving. It's so easy to look at your phone while you're driving, but it can be so deadly.
And with all the technology now in cars, I mean, I have a big screen in my car where you change the air conditioning temperature. You're navigating between different modes for Bluetooth and your radio. I mean, people are distracted, if not by their cell phones, by just all the technology in the car.
That's true. That's true. We got time for one more. Here is our Uber driver friend.
Hey guys, good morning. It's Joaquin, your Uber driver out of San Antonio. I see these guys on the road all the time, running stop signs, running stoplights. The entitlement that they display, like the arrogance, is just unreal. The other question I have is, why are they allowed on the road? They don't pay road taxes. San Antonio spent a lot of money making bike lanes for them, and I see them, they don't even use them. They're still on the road, refuse to use the bike barricades and the lanes that has been placed for them. Just a question.
Excellent.
Great points by Joaquin. And to Joaquin's point, this video we're talking about, those two bicyclists were right in the middle of the road, right? I mean, granted, the drunken SUV driver should not have hit them,
right?
But they were right in the middle of the road in his path. And here comes a drunk driver. What do you expect to happen?
And it could have been so much worse. I mean, if you see that video, you are going to be amazed that those bicyclists walked away alive.
Unbelievable.
Lots more coming up. Charlie Parker with Those Were the Days at 6:48. Charity with all the big stories you need to know about at the bottom of the hour. WOAI News Time, 6:26.
And we're back. I forgot we could talk to the people now.
Jesse Gonzalez, welcome in.
Jesse Gonzalez, are you Dwayne's brother? Seriously.
Wow, Travis loves Zebra's Randy Jackson.
See? I like it. I like it, Travis. It does sound a little bit like Robert Plant. The Schwinn gang. I love it, Jesse. I don't think she likes bikers. Just saying.
So Stagic replay at 6:50?
Yes.
I need to figure out.
I got it. Hang on. I say that and it's probably not there yet. Hang on.
Did you have a talk with him about
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Hang on. Hang on, guys. And we're back.
We are back.
So, Jesse, if you're still there, man, are you Dwayne's little brother? Negative. Okay. Jesse from Flowville. That's right. You're from Flowville, Flowtown. Sorry, man. I just know a guy, Dwayne Gonzalez. His little brother Jesse lives here. Dwayne lives in Hawaii, but Jesse lives here. So just checking.
But Jesse, how do we find a woman like that? Because we wish that we had Jesse's girl.
Travis, I
She's
agree with
loving
you.
him with that body. I just know
Who's
it.
behind the door? I actually have that song. I was going to play a little bit of it. Well, next time I'll play a little bit of it when we talk about the show on Saturday.
Jessica Coombs and Barry Davis, our drummer.
Yeah.
There's Barry.
Yeah. All right, here comes Charity McCarty in about 25 seconds, folks.
.30 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, the latest on Tropical Storm Alberto. More blockbuster rulings from the Supreme Court could be issued today, and a Beaumont man arrested for a 25-year-old murder. Details ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Showers this morning, becoming steady this afternoon. A high of 85. Chance of showers tonight. A low of 75. Right now, 76 degrees. On the South Texas Gulf Coast was spared a direct hit from Tropical Storm Alberto, but the effects are still being felt.
Red flag warnings are posted along Texas beaches and places like Port Aransas due to high winds and waves over 12 feet. But this family from Illinois tells 2 News Houston they weren't about to let that ruin their vacation.
We love it no matter what, just to get out of Illinois.
This Corpus Christi woman says they used Alberto as a dry run to test their storm prepping.
Put batteries in our flashlights. We, had our cell phones charged and had our battery banks filled and did all that just in case, because you never know.
Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
And Tropical Storm Alberto is prompting a disaster declaration for 51 Texas counties. Governor Abbott issued the declaration yesterday that includes Bear, Bandera, and Live Oak. Well, President Biden is now ahead of former President Trump in the latest Fox News general election matchup poll. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more on Decision 2024.
For the first time since October, President Biden is ahead of former President Trump in the Fox News poll by 2 points. The president's favored by women, specifically white women with college degrees, urban voters, and those over 65. Former President Trump is favored by men, white men without college degrees, and evangelical voters. Independents favor President Biden by 9 points. Fox pollsters say a shift in how voters feel about the economy may be playing a role. 32% say the economy is in good or fair shape. That is up 15 points from a low point in July 2 years ago. In a 5-way race with Jill Stein and Cornel West, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets 10%, leaving President Biden with 43% support. That's just 1 point more than former President Trump. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
A total of 131 scholarships across Texas are on hold or being modified as a result of a new state law. Senate Bill 17 is a ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs at public universities in Texas. As universities implement the law, which went into effect January, scholarships intended for recipients of a certain race or sex are being affected. The scholarships include 80 at Texas A&M campuses, 45 at University of Texas affiliated schools, and 6 at 3 other public universities. Well, 2 cyclists were hit by an accused drunk driver near Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on Monday in what is now a viral video. Fox 4's Alex Boyer in Dallas reports.
They were looping DFW Airport, a popular circuit for group riders.
All of a sudden, something pushes me from behind, and then I can feel myself falling to the right. And that's pretty much the last thing I remember.
What Gephardt didn't know is that he and another cyclist were victims of a hit and run captured on video by a cyclist ahead of them.
I was unconscious for a number of minutes. I guess some people thought I wasn't breathing.
Gephardt said the SUV ran over his thigh. The video shows his helmet hitting the pavement. He credits his bike with saving him.
The driver, 21-year-old Benjamin Highlander of Fort Worth, was arrested on suspicion of DWI. Highlander is also charged with 2 counts of intoxication assault with the vehicle. At least 6 empty beer cans were found in his car. Well, San Antonio is planning to host a 4th of July holiday at Woodlawn Lake Park. The celebration is free and open to the public and is scheduled for 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on Thursday, July 4th. The event will feature live music, food trucks, carnival games, and children's activities. The HEB fireworks extravaganza starts at 9 p.m. and will last 12 minutes. Woodlawn Lake Park doesn't allow alcohol or overnight camping. Visitors are recommended to bring lawn chairs, bottled water, and sunscreen. Well, the Border Patrol in Texas is warning about illegal immigration during what is expected to be another brutally hot summer.
In El Paso, they've begun averaging more than 100 degrees a day. Operation Lone Star, forcing illegal immigrants into more rural areas, leading to a rise in near-death rescues. Agent Refugio Corrales says the smugglers don't care about the migrant safety.
They're giving them just like a glass of water per day, so it just makes it that much harder when they hit these triple digits.
So far this year, 690 people have been saved. That's 100 more than last year, and we're nowhere near the peak of summer. And so far, there have been 9 heat-related deaths in the sector. Michael Board, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
A Beaumont man is under arrest for the murder of the woman who disappeared in 1999. Kimberly Langwell was reported missing after she went to her ex-boyfriend's house to pick up some of her belongings. Her car was found abandoned, but no trace of Langwell was found until Texas EquiSearch recently discovered her remains. A search for 67-year-old ex-boyfriend Terry Rose's home in Beaumont reportedly turned up evidence related to her disappearance. Beaumont police arrested Rose in a charge of murder. It is 6:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute, but first, check of your money and the world of business. Ed Corey is live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, thanks, Ed. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman, Charlie Parker. With those were the days at 6:48. I'm Chris Duell. Coming up at 6:50, Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic with a comprehensive look on how Tropical Storm Alberto will continue to affect South Texas. But we just heard Charity Ed Corey from Bloomberg talking with you, reporting on the families of two Boeing 737 MAX plane crashes. One that happened in Indonesia in 2018, another one in Ethiopia in 2019 that killed a total of 346 people. They are asking for a fine and punishment for Boeing of $24.8 billion. They are calling it the deadliest corporate crime in U.S. history. The hits just keep on coming for the Boeing Corporation.
Wow. $24 billion. That would probably get the attention of Boeing in terms of making the necessary changes to improve safety because the status quo is not adequate.
No, and I think the $24 billion, if they actually indeed get that as a fine, might put them out of business.
Yeah, that's billion with a B.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
might
that's
put them
a,
out of business.
a
yes.
huge amount of money. And these were Boeing 737 MAX aircraft that, as I recall, were just recently rolled off the
Yes.
assembly line. And there were avionics problems that would just go haywire in the cockpit. And hearing the cockpit voice recordings of those pilots in those crashes, they were doing everything they could to regain control of the aircraft, but could not. And they were just both horrific crashes. And as I mentioned, took the lives of 346 people.
And I guess it's going to be up to the Justice Department to ultimately decide. I know there was some kind of deferred prosecution agreement between the Justice Department and Boeing, and there are some accusations that Boeing perhaps violated that agreement.
Yeah, because it allowed the company not to face charges. But look, we know how attorneys work sometimes. They ask for the moon, and they'll just take a couple stars. So if they're asking for $24 billion, this still could end up in the billions, but a lot lower.
Correct.
It still could hurt Boeing a lot business-wise.
And speaking of Boeing, the other big Boeing story that is ongoing at the International Space Station, you've got that new Starliner spacecraft that has had all sorts of problems. There are two astronauts who have piloted that spacecraft to the International Space Station that are staying longer while they try to troubleshoot some of the issues. Charity, Mr. T and I were talking about this off the air. If you're one of those two astronauts and you have to stay longer at the International Space Station, first of all, you're probably cool with that, because if you've wanted to be an astronaut all your life and you say, hey, you got to spend 2 more weeks at the International Space Station, if that's your dream, if that's your bliss to be an astronaut, you're probably good with that. But then at the end of this all, you've got to then get on board that Boeing Starliner and hope that it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere and brings you back to Earth safely. That's got to be a little bit concerning.
Yeah, it seems like they're choosing their words very carefully when talking about the hiccups that they're encountering, thruster troubleshooting, things like that. Hopefully everything goes okay. But yeah, that would make me very, very anxious having to step foot in that and hopefully make the safe return home.
Yeah, I would think very long and hard. Is any way we can get a Russian rocket up here or something? I would be very leery.
Yeah, okay. SpaceX, can you fly something up here and we'll go home in the SpaceX?
You can't call a space Uber.
No.
I mean, that just doesn't exist.
Yeah, we don't
yet.
have space Ubers yet.
Yet.
Someday.
Yet.
Someday we.
Yes.
And God forbid, and certainly we pray for the lives of those astronauts on the International Space Station, but God forbid this Boeing spacecraft, if it did somehow fail, if there was a catastrophic failure on reentry, I mean, you look at all these problems Boeing has been having, that would just add to the litany of problems that the corporation is having. Let's pray that everything will be safe with that Boeing Starliner spacecraft currently attached to the International Space Station. Charlie Parker coming up with Those Were the Days. Then Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel with a comprehensive look at Tropical Storm Alberto about to make landfall in Mexico. WOAI News Time, 6:44.
Hello. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good.
All right.
I've checked.
Hopefully you have sound now. CB Bryles 100.
You got us.
Yeah, the feed we have for people who are new to this, it's not perfect, not near perfect. So there are some elements of the radio broadcast that do not come through. I mean, when Mr. T and I have the microphones on, you hear us. When we cut to Charity and she's either on in a segment or doing the news, you hear her.
Yes.
But there are some elements that don't come through.
Yeah, which unfortunately we're trying to work on that. And yes, Travis, they did not give this to me. My login for YouTube, I haven't used it in forever. It kind of locked me out, man. So I'm using WOEIs because I do have that password.
Get a new one.
Yeah, I could.
Now it's connected to your You have a Gmail, right?
Yeah, but I haven't. I'm one of those people that got the Gmail that went away because I hadn't used it in years.
Okay.
Yeah,
just get a new one.
I know. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I guess I could do that, but kind of like going in anonymously as 1200 WOAI. That way, if I say something really off the cuff, it's not me.
But you say it on behalf of 1200 WOAI.
But it's not me. Uh-oh, we're in trouble now. Here comes the director. We're in trouble.
What's going on?
Oh, you're not in trouble. So their market cap is 107 billion. That's the largest in the market order. So a $25 billion fine would hurt. Probably wouldn't put them out of business. Raytheon is like the second American publicly traded.
Wow.
Their stock price is still like $60 less than Boeing, even with Boeing being down $100 from 6 months. So in January, it was like 60, and now it's like 1.
Yeah, but if they end up having to pay the $1 billion in fines, man, it's gonna.
Yeah, Raytheon, a big defense contractor.
Yeah.
All the arms we're sending to Ukraine.
It's all coming from them.
Probably
Yes.
a good time to own some Raytheon.
Yeah,
stock.
no kidding. I was just thinking about that. My broker is Andrew Zimmel.
Yes. E.F. Hutton talks. People listen. That was a great commercial.
Oh,
maybe the greatest commercial ever, though. High karate.
High karate.
High karate. Be careful how you use it. That was so great. Having to fight off women. High karate.
There's another good topic for the talk.
Greatest commercials ever. Yes.
Yes.
I can't believe I ate the whole thing as a classic. Yes. That's evergreen. Greatest commercials
Plop,
ever.
Fizz. And who would forget the Big Mac? 2 all beef special sauce, low cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Frightening.
Very
well, and if we do that, we play the Barry Manilow.
Oh, God, yes.
Very strange medley.
God, yes. Because he wrote most of them. Not all of them. Just most of them, Chris. See, you remember High Karate, Travis.
High Karate.
Good stuff, man. That's a good one, man. We should do that on a Friday.
Yes. Greatest TV commercials, favorite TV commercials of all time.
Well, the ones that stick in your head after 40 years have got to be up there to the top.
Heinz Ketchup Anticipation was brilliant.
Carly Simon, yes.
It was brilliant that they used that.
Remember baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man, there's some good ones out there. One of my favorites, though, and I can't say
you ate it, Ralph.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the Mean Joe Green Coca-Cola commercial.
Classic.
Right there, buddy. Right
classic,
there.
With the little kid in the jersey.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yep. That was a good one, man.
I still remember because I recorded Super Bowl VI on cassette tape. It was Roger Staubach and Bob Greasy doing a Vitalis commercial.
Oh, Vitalis. Hell
They're doing a
yes.
Vitalis commercial, and they're talking about the game. And at the very end, Bob Greasy goes, yeah, but Roger, you'll be wearing Vitalis. And he goes, yeah, Bob, won't you? He goes, yes, but they'll still call me Greasy.
Yes,
it's very, very funny.
Exactly. Good stuff,
Vitalis.
Man. We just stumbled onto another one.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, we could go all day on old commercials.
I know.
Where's the beef?
Where's the
Tim.
beef is a great one.
I've fallen and I can't get up. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Real quick, guys, we'll be right back. I love that one, Echo. Dare you to knock it off, man.
Oh my! What was his name?
James West. God,
from the Wild Wild West.
Yes,
but what was his real name?
Oh, come on.
I'm seeing his face.
Yes.
He was a little short guy.
Yes. Connor.
Not Chuck Connors.
No, not Chuck Connor, but what was his first name?
God.
Travis, come on, help us.
Wild West. Who was the actor?
Hang on.
Let's see. 650.
Hang on.
Yeah, all we got to do is Google who was in the Wild.
Robert Conrad.
Robert Conrad. Yes.
Okay, Robert Conrad. Oh, he got it. Tim Disick had it. Tim had it.
Tim got it from the Philippines.
Look at that. All the way in the Philippines, he got it before
Yes.
he did. Good morning, Connie Chambers.
Connie Chambers, good morning. Len Dawson.
High karate is back, according to Travis.
Wow. That photo of Len Dawson smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
Halftime Super Bowl one, and he's got a Fresca.
Yeah.
There's a Fresca and a cigarette at halftime.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. We did stumble onto another one, Chris.
And it was in Mad Men. I'd like to teach the world to sing.
Great
that
one.
Coca-Cola.
Great one. And remember, put the lime in the coconut.
Yep.
From 7-Up.
Mm-hmm. I was watching. There's a new box set of John Lennon's Mind Games.
Oh, really?
Of the album, like 6 different mixes. Sean Ono Lennon remixed them.
Oh, wow.
And I was watching on YouTube yesterday just the evolution of the song Mind Games. It was like a little mini documentary.
Connie, no, we did not. I was able to drive, but it was wet. All right, we're going to let you listen to Charity here real quick and enjoy her.
And here are some of the stories we're following for you. Tropical storm Alberto is nearing landfall off Mexico's coast as its effects on the Texas coast have subsided. County commissioners have approved a tax incentive for the Toyota manufacturing plant, and a meeting between U.S. and Israeli officials has been canceled. We'll have the very latest coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Showers early, becoming steady rain later in the day, highs in the mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers, highs in the low 90s. And then on Saturday, a few clouds early and then mainly sunny, highs in the low 90s. It is 75 degrees in Terrell Hills, 75 in Castle Hills, and 74 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 6:54.
San Antonio's first news, thanks to Charlie Parker. For those were the days. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T. Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Coming up, the summer solstice today at 3:50 p.m. locally. It's the longest day of the year. We're going to ask Alexa for some ideas on how we should spend our time on this longest day of the year. That's coming up. At first, right now, let's check in with Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic. Ray, what's the latest on Tropical Storm Alberto, and how will it continue to affect South Texas?
Alberto nearing the coast of Mexico, the center, anyway. And don't forget, we don't just concentrate on the center. But for the sake of this discussion, for now, let's do that, as it's about 40 miles to the east of Tampico, Mexico, as of the 4 a.m. advisory from the Hurricane Center. Winds at 50 and moving west at about 13 miles per hour. So imminent landfall here, most likely this morning. Looks like they've dropped all the watches and warnings on the Texas coast. So just through parts of east coast of Mexico, tropical storm warnings in place. Heavy rain and gusty winds starting to back down, but still some rain to go. More widely scattered stuff with kind of this tropical flow around this real broad circulation here from Alberto, our first storm in the Atlantic Basin this season.
And Ray, I know I experienced some steady rainfall yesterday. So how much rain did we get in Bexar County and surrounding areas?
Most of us in Bexar County averaged about a half to 3/4 of an inch. The airport officially 0.79, had just over an inch just north of town. It was kind of strange because we had it look like a band of some heavier showers that actually passed north in Hays and Comal counties, where they had an inch and a half in Hays County and one of the rain gauges up there. And then as you went east and got into Wilson County, inch and a half to 2 inches, and then closer to places like Victoria and out near the coast, that's where we saw 2 to 4, even 5 or 6 inches of rain. Had a couple of feet of water rise too. I mean, a very broad circulation, and along the coast we did see some inundation, and it looks like even that will start to subside here, but didn't see any big problems with at least inland flooding as the rain came down. It came down hard at times in spots, but we had a couple of flash flood warnings, but certainly not hard enough to produce widespread flash flooding. At least that's the way it has been. There are some advisories down toward our south as you get down near Duval and even on into areas in southern Sal County. That's a flash flood warning that's in effect this morning, but it looks like that rain is progressive and moving away.
So what about that other disturbance that was right on top of Alberto? How did that work out?
Yeah, see, everybody is paying attention. Yeah, but we've actually got another disturbance now that the Hurricane Center in the next 7 days does put a 50% chance on having development with. So that's the next system that may bring some rain back in the forecast for some of us as we look ahead toward the upcoming weekend. So that one now sitting out over, they kind of moved it again down toward the south and relocated over Central America. So it moves into the Western Gulf and the Gulf of Mexico on Friday, and low percentage chance, 10% in 48 hours. And then in 7 days, a depression possible, maybe a tropical storm. That chance now is up to 50%. So right now, the hot spot in the Atlantic Basin looks like it's the Western Gulf right now. So have to keep an eye on that for rain chances potentially going back up.
We will certainly keep an eye on it. Our thanks to Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic. And Charity, it is the first day of summer at 3:50 this afternoon, Central Time. It will be the summer solstice officially. Summer will begin today, the longest day of the year. Any special plans, Charity, how to spend your time in the longest day of the year?
Enjoying the high of 85 for as long as I can on this longest day of the year, because this is not typical for the first day of summer.
Very, very unusual.
Yeah. Well, and Mr. T, I mean, I guess I could stream. I could go home and watch, streaming shows on Netflix and Hulu. And I feel like we need some suggestions on how to spend this longest day of the year.
So let's just ask Alexa.
Okay.
Alexa, give us some ideas of what to do on this longest day of the year.
Here are ways you can fill the longest day of the year. Try to assemble anything from IKEA by midnight. Volunteer to help those in need, like liberal arts graduates. Go to a Subway sandwich shop and do a biogenetic test on what they call tuna. Watch all of the Fast and Furious movies, or watch the first one 9 times. Same difference. Get high and watch the Roomba chase the dog. Free up iCloud space by deleting all of those photos of strangers' feet. Good luck and enjoy the longest day of the year.
Those are good ideas.
Those are great ideas.
Those are good ideas.
Yeah,
I guess.
I like it.
No Subway for me. I'll pass.
No?
No.
Well, are
There
you
we go.
a Subway
Oh,
sandwich
my goodness.
elitist?
Here we go.
Are you a sandwich elitist?
Yes, fine. I'm going to admit it. I'm a Subway or just a sandwich elitist.
How about
Subway.
Jersey Mike's?
Oh, Jersey Mike's rocks.
I've never had it.
Oh,
I'm a Jason's Deli kind of gal.
I like Jason's
Jason
Deli.
Deli,
too.
Okay.
but Jersey Mike's, man.
Jersey Mike's is
rocks.
very good.
Yes.
All right.
Danny DeVito can't be wrong.
He cannot be wrong.
Yes. And by the way, one of the things you can do today is watch Charity McCurdy's puddle jumping video.
There you go.
It's very, very well done. It's very artistic. It's even got a musical soundtrack.
Did it make you emotional, Chris? That's what I was going for. Okay.
It did. I wanted to go and jump in some
I did
puddles.
too.
Okay.
So I believe that's on Instagram. Go to 1200 WOAI or Charity McCurdy on Instagram and check that out. Coming up, we will pay tribute to this first day of summer on a segment we call Wait Till You Hear This. But right now, Charity McCurdy with everything you need to know on this Thursday, summer solstice day. WOAI news time is 7 o'clock.
Seven o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Tropical Storm Alberto is blamed for 3 deaths. President Biden is prepping for his debate with Trump, and SAWS is looking to find heavy water users. More ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday: cloudy this morning, scattered showers throughout the day, a high of 85. Chance of more rain tonight, a low of 75. Right now, 76 degrees. All parts of Texas and Mexico saw harsh weather conditions from Tropical Storm Alberto as it nears Mexico's coast. Here's Fox Weather's Robert Ray from Corpus Christi.
The entire Texas coastline from Mexico all the way up to Louisiana and even into places like Lake Charles, southwest Louisiana, all experiencing Tropical Storm Alberto, the first system of the year and what could be an historic season according to the National Hurricane Center and the forecast that is predicted. In Corpus Christi, Texas, Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
And one resident said the flooding from the storm drains is what caught him off guard.
We thought the rain was going to come down on top, but we didn't know it was going to come up through the storm drains.
The National Hurricane Center says heavy rains and gusty winds are subsiding for the Texas coast, but should continue through this morning along northeastern Mexico. Governor Abbott has issued a disaster declaration for 51 Texas counties.
The storm is causing widespread showers, even though Texas is missing the brunt of it. Among the counties included in the declaration are Bexar, Atascosa, and Bandera counties, as well as counties in far south Texas and along the Texas Gulf Coast. Alberto is expected to cause ongoing coastal flooding through this week. Emergency response teams remain on standby as Abbott urges all Texans in at-risk areas to remain weather aware and heed the guidance of state and local officials. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
San Antonio City Council will vote today on proposed higher fines and a new surcharge for heavy water users. SAWS officials say drought restrictions already in effect are not doing enough to save water. If council members approve, the new restrictions will take effect immediately, but higher fines and surcharges won't happen for another month. Well, it's 1 week from debate night, and President Biden is spending this week prepping for next week's exchange with former President Trump. Fox's Jared Halpern has more on Decision 2024.
President Biden is spending a lot of time between now and the debate out of Washington, scheduled to spend several days at Camp David for debate prep.
The president could be president anywhere. We have the infrastructure to do just that.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre won't detail how President Biden's time will be divided.
But I can tell you this, the president's going to continue to stay squarely focused on his duty as president of the United States.
A A second debate between the current president and former president is scheduled for September. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And this comes as a new Fox News national survey shows President Biden with a slight edge over former President Trump for the first time since October. A suspected drunk driver in Texas was seen on video running over two cyclists. Fox's Chanley Pater has more.
31-year-old Benjamin Highlander is accused of slamming his vehicle into a group of cyclists near DFW Airport Monday, striking two. Both survived, but one had serious injuries. The harrowing moments all caught on camera. A man and woman riding in broad daylight, the SUV not even slowing down before striking the two from behind. After the driver hits the two cyclists, the car swerves and runs over the man who had fallen to the ground. The driver never stopped and kept on driving. The other cyclists in the group ride and follow this vehicle until police arrest the driver.
And officers searched the car, finding 6 empty beer cans. Bexar County Commissioner's Court is giving the green light to a tax incentive for the Toyota Motor Manufacturing Texas plant. Commissioners this week approved a 10-year, 100% tax abatement for the plant, which plans to bring more than 400 jobs to the area. The company says it will invest more than $500 million in the project, which will expand existing facilities and add a new standalone building. The Boeing Starliner, now docked to the International Space Station, will remain in space a bit longer than originally planned.
Things seem to be going well for the Boeing Starliner spacecraft, known as Calypso, currently docked at the International Space Station, in its first ever mission carrying a human crew. Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams have been visiting the station. The craft did have some issues with a thruster during its first docking attempt earlier this month. And while the crew was originally slated to visit for a week, more testing is desired. And now NASA says the spacecraft and the crew will not leave the station until June 26th. Eben Brown, Fox News.
It is 7:06. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news on this soon-to-be first day of summer. The summer solstice actually happens at 3:50 p.m. in the central time zone. Big 7 o'clock hour. Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. He's going to join us at 7:20. His take on the morning's big stories. 7:40, national correspondent Rory O'Neill. Do you have a rainy day fund, an emergency savings account? How much you should have for emergencies? We'll talk about that. And coming right up, on a segment we call Wait Till You Hear This. We will get you ready for this first day of summer. But first, your traffic and weather together.
Showers early, then steady rain later today. Highs in the mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers. Highs in low 90s. Saturday, a few clouds early. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Highs in the low 90s. It is 75 degrees in Leon Springs, 77 in New Braunfels, and 74 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 7:10.
San Antonio's first news. That's Mr. T, Tim Merriman. She's Charity McCurdy. Our thanks to Charlie Parker, bringing us those were the days in the previous quarter hour. Mr. Andrew Zimmel piloting the Millennium Falcon. He's also directing our live video stream on YouTube. You can jump in there, look for 1200 WOAI on YouTube. You can chat with us and other viewers in real time and kind of see what we look like. You can see why Mr. T and I are on the radio.
And wonder why Charity is.
Wonder why Charity is not on television. So tune in to that. Well, summer solstice officially happens at 3:50 p.m. this afternoon. It's still not summer yet.
Not yet.
Until later this. It's still springtime.
But we're getting ready.
We're getting ready. And Mr. T, on a segment we call Wait Till You Hear This, you got a way to get us ready for summer.
Yes, I do. I found this earlier this morning, so here it is, everybody. Just something to get you in the mood for summer.
But we are celebrating the first day of summer. Sweat would just be dripping off our naked bodies.
The beach is a perfect place to pick up chicks.
Speedo is French for maximum package exposure.
I'm not blushing. I'm sunburned. So hot! Bikini waxes for everybody.
You wear thongs?
Are you ready to party?
Upside down. If he gets too much direct sunlight, he'll die.
Summer, summer, summer.
Guys, we have to get the bikini ready. Something about a gal in a bikini holding a belt sander.
Yeah, my bikini wax.
Hey, when you get done with that sunblock, you think you get handsome over here? You don't want to get too burnt out.
You know, when I was a kid, I got a sunburn like that. I had to peel all the skin off, put it in a pile, and ate it. And you'll need a bikini for the hot tub.
Where's the party?
Yes. Summer is my favorite season, Mr. T. I think you agree.
I love summer.
Now, Charity, you seem to like cold weather, and you know the when you can do some kind of a pumpkin spice drink. Do you dread summer?
When it gets super brutally hot, yes, like triple digit heat, 117 degree heat index, I can't hang. I'm inside in the AC at that point.
That's why I'm in the pool.
Well, it seems like a mild summer so far.
Yeah, so far.
We're in the
so
80s
far
for summer today.
Yeah, which is very unusual. It really is.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
And so, Chris, you've got your big ceremony this afternoon at 3:50.
3:50. I'll be doing some yoga, meditating. I'll be chanting my mantras,
sweating,
and I will achieve beervana.
Beervana.
I will be drinking beer and achieving beer, the golden nectar of the gods.
Amen to that.
To welcome in summer.
I just feel like summer's already been here for at least a month. It's hard to believe this is the official day. It's going to be a long summer. I mean, what, October, maybe November?
Yeah,
we'll get a break.
How it goes.
Okay.
That's usually how it goes.
Just
Summer and
checking.
not summer. We're coming into the summer part of the year.
That is weird that it's still springtime until 3:50 this afternoon.
And you expect at 3:50 this afternoon the temperature's going to go up like 30 degrees, but that's not going to happen.
Does not feel like spring. I will.
Thank you, Alberto.
I will agree with that. Thank you, Tropical Storm Alberto. Thank you very much. All right, coming up, Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. Always love getting his take on the morning's big stories. That's coming right at us. WOAI News Time 7:14. Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together, then Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. But Mr. T, you are a huge baseball guy. A big game tonight, Major League Baseball. The San Francisco Giants and St. Louis Cardinals are playing at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, home of the Negro League's Birmingham Black Barons.
Yes, and there was also the Birmingham Barons, the white team that played there at the same time. They would, when the white team would play, the Black Barons would be on the road, and vice versa. And then when they had the white Barons, they just called them the Barons, were playing. There was a section in right field that was just for Negroes to sit in. And there was a play-by-play guy that was just ruthless. When a ball would go out there, he would say they hit it into the tar pits.
Awful.
That's how bad it was.
Awful.
And this is a big, big game tonight because a lot more meaning to it now that the passing of Willie Mays, because he played there when he was 17.
Started his professional career in 1948 with the Black Barons.
Yes.
So he will be honored tonight. I believe that game's on ESPN tonight.
Is it ESPN? Yes,
I
at
think
7
it is.
o'clock.
So check that out. A piece of Major League Baseball history. A very, very special game tonight. Charity McCurdy, what stories are you tracking?
Well, the Texas coast is getting a break from continuous rainfall as Tropical Storm Alberto rumbled ashore near Tampico, Mexico this morning. The Supreme Court could issue its ruling on former President Trump's immunity case as soon as today. And a Beaumont man is under arrest for a murder that happened 25 years ago. We'll have details coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Showers early, becoming steady rain later today. Highs in the mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers. Highs in low 90s. Saturday, a few clouds early. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Highs in the low 90s. 75 in Monte Vista. 75 at City Base. 74 right here in Stone Oak. WOEI News Time 720.
San Antonio's first news. A quick correction. I had the network wrong on tonight's game at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, between the Giants and the Cardinals. That will be on Fox television tonight. That's Fox television. Right now, as we do every weekday morning at this time, we check in with Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. Mike, a new Fox News poll out showing President Joe Biden moving ahead of Donald Trump. What do you make of this latest polling?
Well, I make of it the same thing I made of the polling that said Hillary Clinton was a 98% chance of winning in 2016. But polling is just that. It's a snapshot of an audience that you talk to. But here's the fun thing about this. All of the liberal networks have to give props to Fox today. They're all going, a new Fox News poll. And you know that it makes them shiver when they have to say stuff like that. It's just fun. So polls are going to flip back and forth. It's within the margin of error. It's after they called him a convicted felon 40 bazillion times. This will happen. Donald Trump still leads in the swing states. And really, that's going to be the important issue.
And meantime, President Biden is prepping for next Thursday's debate against Trump. You kind of have to wonder how those preparations are going.
Well, there'll be preparation A through H, I'm sure. No, they're standing. They're not sitting. That's right. So maybe just preparation A. Here's the weird part about this, too, Charity. I checked the flight logs because I'm a geek and the flight warnings to pilots. Camp David and the surrounding area where Joe Biden is prepping is a no-fly zone for the next 7 days. The President of the United States went from the beach house, the most expensive beach house in Delaware, to Camp David, where he will be for the next 7 days. You know, it's not like nothing's happening in the world, but he's going to be at Camp David debate prepping.
That's unbelievable. All right, so we've been talking about this morning. Those two cyclists that survived after being hit by that drunk driver. How amazing that they survived.
Yeah, one of them's in pretty bad shape.
Yes.
I watched the tape a couple times over. It's pretty hard to watch,
Mhm.
especially as a guy who used to do a lot of cycling. And, they allegedly or reportedly found 6 empty beer cans in the car of that jack wagon. Thank God those guys are alive. Thank God the cyclist in front had a camera recording it, because that's really part and parcel of how they got this guy and the evidence they have. But the most injured guy, I believe, is 70 years old.
Yes.
Can we just be careful once we get past 65 people? Do you really need to be out there thinking you're Eddie Merckx winning the Tour de France again? Yeah, I love that they're staying healthy, but when you were a kid and you scraped your knee, you could watch it heal. Now, if you scrape your knee, you need the calendar to time the healing of that boo-boo.
So you're saying sticking to the mall walking, right?
Yeah, mall walking or even pickleball.
Pickleball, hello.
Hey, there's the answer.
With no cars.
Yeah, by the way, Mike, Mr. T and I are undefeated in pickleball. If you ever want to come to town and team up with Charity McCurdy and take us on in pickleball, we would be up for that.
I would. Ooh, there is a reunion I'm supposed to.
Hey.
Come on down.
Let's plan it, Mike.
But here's my pickleball documentary. Ow! That's what it is. It's 3 hits and then somebody twists something.
And Mike, you're a longtime music guy. Did you hear about the Queen catalog, their music catalog selling just for a staggering amount of money?
Yeah, this is amazing. Sony Music selling the Queen catalog for $1.2 billion. Wow. And there's probably some other stuff in there. I go back to when Paul McCartney sat down with Michael Jackson in the early 80s. And Michael said, give me some advice, Paul. And Paul said, hang on to your publishing, get your publishing. And the next week, Michael Jackson bought half the Beatles catalog.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the amazing thing about songwriting. The publishing rights are gold.
Yep.
So that is like owning property to a songwriter, but that's a staggering number.
And I guess we got to keep our eyes on Mount St. Helens because she may be about to blow.
Well, 43 years later, Charity, 2.0 may be on the way. And I would tell everybody who laughed at the last one and is now part of history, encased in ash and molten that has cooled down, if they tell you to get out this time, get the hell out.
Yes. People found out the hard way. You need to heed those warnings. You can get more Mike Opelka from his Pure Opelka podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. We recommend the free iHeartRadio app. Another episode will drop today. You want to be sure to listen to that. Mike is brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Coming up at 7:40, national correspondent Rory O'Neill on how much money you should have in an emergency savings account. That and more coming up. WOAI News Time 7:26.
And we're back. What is pickleball? It's like tennis and ping pong combined.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid between the two. Yeah. Woo!
Wow.
And it's fun.
700 pork sticks.
Fun.
Wow.
About half the size of a tennis court. Pickleball, Tim, is all the rage in the States right now. A lot of old malls that are no longer in use are being converted to pickleball courts and facilities. And what's the name? Chicken and Pickle?
Chicken and Pickle.
It's expensive as this place. There's a place that serves food and drinks and pickleball.
It's very nice, though. It's very nice place, but
crazy pricey.
Yes. You got to take out a small business loan if you want to spend some time there.
Text you and Charity about the text that you got from CP.
This is not the right spot.
Yeah.
Damn it.
The wrong spot played. Mr. T is not happy. Yeah, we went to Chicken and Pickle. It was a company outing. Fun, but pricey. Bring a lot of money.
That just cost me money, man.
So where's Parker? He's
at the doctor. Getting ready to do blood work. What the hell is wrong with him? All right, we're back. Yeah, get hurt watching paint dry.
Yeah, Tim, I've been Charity and Mr. T and Andrew. Now I've had a knee issue since January, and my knee just won't heal. What's interesting though, I noticed that I wasn't in nearly as much pain the last week, and I told my wife that.
Steroids.
I'm on a steroid.
Steroid.
Yeah, well, I'm doing a steroid for my
because you're juicing.
upper
That's why.
respiratory thing. She goes, it must be the steroid. Great.
Yes, sir. Yes, Travis, you are correct.
Charity's coming up with all the news you need to know.
Yeah, we're about a minute out.
Woo.
Enjoy.
.31 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, tropical storm Alberto makes landfall. More rulings from the Supreme Court could be issued today. We'll have details ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday: cloudy this morning with scattered showers throughout the day, a high of 85. Chance of showers tonight, a low of 75. Right now, 77 degrees. Well, tropical storm Alberto has made landfall in Mexico, where at least 3 people have already been killed by the storm. The South Texas Gulf Coast was spared a direct hit, but the effects are still being felt.
Red flag warnings were posted along Texas beaches and places like Port Aransas due to high winds and waves over 12 feet. But this family from Illinois tells 2 News Houston they weren't about to let that ruin their vacation.
We love it no matter what, just to get out of Illinois.
This Corpus Christi woman says they used Alberto as a dry run to test their storm prepping.
Put batteries in our flashlights. We, had our cell phones charged and had our battery banks filled and did all that just in case, because you never know.
Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
And Tropical Storm Alberto is prompting a disaster declaration for 51 Texas counties. Governor Abbott issued the declaration on Wednesday that includes Bear, Bandera, and Live Oak. Well, President Biden is now ahead of former President Trump in the latest Fox News general election matchup poll. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has the latest on Decision 2024.
For the first time since October, President Biden is ahead of former President Trump in the Fox News poll by 2 points. The president's favored by women, specifically white women with college degrees, urban voters, and those over 65. Former President Trump is favored by men, white men without college degrees, and evangelical voters. Independents favor President Biden by 9 points. Fox pollsters say a shift in how voters feel about the economy may be playing a role. 32% say the economy is in good or fair shape. That is up 15 points from a low point in July 2 years ago. In a 5-way race with Jill Stein and Cornel West, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets 10%, leaving President Biden with 43% support. That's just 1 point more than former President Trump. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Meantime, the Supreme Court is expected to release more decisions on controversial cases. Here's Fox's Kristen Goodwin.
Supreme Court justices could soon rule on whether to preserve a federal law that prohibits people under domestic violence restraining orders from having guns. The case involves a Texas man accused of hitting his girlfriend and threatening to shoot her. Justice is also expected to decide whether the Sackler family, which used to control Purdue Pharma, maker of OxyContin, should be immune from future lawsuits linked to the opioid crisis. Purdue Pharma agreeing to pay $6 billion to settle thousands of claims against it. The High Court will weigh in on whether that deal is legal. And the court still has yet to rule on former President Trump's claim of immunity from federal election subversion charges after hearing arguments in April. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
A Beaumont man is under arrest for the murder of a woman who disappeared back in 1999. Kimberly Langwell was reported missing after she went to her ex-boyfriend's house to pick up some of her belongings. Her car was found abandoned, but no trace of Langwell was found until Texas EquiSearch recently discovered her remains. A search of her 67-year-old ex-boyfriend Terry Rose's home in Beaumont reportedly turned up evidence related to her disappearance. Beaumont police arrested Rose on a charge of murder. The Border Patrol in Texas is warning about illegal immigration during what's expected to be another brutally hot summer.
In El Paso, they've begun averaging more than 100 degrees a day, Operation Lone Star, forcing illegal immigrants into more rural areas, leading to a rise in near-death rescues. Agent Refugio Corrales says the smugglers don't care about the migrant safety.
They're giving them just like a glass of water per day, so it just makes it that much harder when they hit these triple digits.
So far this year, 690 people have been saved. That's 100 more than last year, and we're nowhere near the peak of summer. And so far, there have been 9 heat-related deaths in the sector. Michael Board, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
And Texas will need to double its power generation over the next 6 years in order to keep up with demand. On top of all the new residents, there's a worry that cryptocurrency operations will continue sucking energy off the grid at times of need.
The crypto miners really provide significant demand response, but that we don't have as much visibility into that.
ERCOT's Dan Woodfin says that Bitcoin mining and AI data centers are responsible for more than half of the added growth on the Texas grid. Back in 2022, during a power crunch, the crypto industry powered down to take a strain off the system, but that may not happen in the future. Well, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders will take center stage in a new series.
Y'all heads up, it's time, it's focus.
America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, focuses the cameras on the globally recognized cheerleading squad that since 1961 have been dazzling audiences on the sidelines with their sparkling, shimmering sequin stars and their blue and white outfits and white knee-high cowboy boots.
Now the pressure's on.
Led by longtime director Kelly Finglas, the franchise has built a legacy from auditions and training camps all the way through the NFL season, where they perform for more than 90,000 fans at all Cowboys home games in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
It is 7:38. Traffic and weather together in a minute. But first, to check of your money and the world of business, Ed Corey is live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, thanks, Ed. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news, Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Andrew Zimmel flying the Millennium Falcon and directing the live YouTube feed. Go search 1200 WOAI on YouTube if you want to be a part of the feed. There's a live video chat in there. Let's check in with national correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, you are tracking a story about emergency savings and how much we should have in a rainy day fund. How many Americans are secure with extra finances should they need them in an emergency?
Now, only about 1 in 4, according to Bankrate. 28% of us have enough savings to cover at least 6 months worth of expenses. And let's just define some terms here. We're not talking, hey, I need to suddenly fix the car. It's an emergency. We're talking the kind of fund that you should have set aside to cover at least three, perhaps ideally 6 months of all of your expenses if your income were to end tomorrow. So you should have that set aside in the bank. Sadly, about 36% of Americans now have more credit card debt than emergency savings.
So how does age factor into this, Rory? Are younger generations maybe wired to save their money the same way older generations were, or not?
So far, so good. Maybe the Gen Zers haven't had time to get into too much debt yet. About 32% of them are more likely to have more credit card debt than emergency savings. Baby boomers, on the other hand, only about 24% are in that position. It's those millennials and Gen Xers. Most of them are almost a majority of them are upside down right now.
Does it say anything about the average amount of people's stress? In other words, they lose sleep at night stressing about money?
Yeah, we are hearing more and more Americans are just concerned that their savings, their emergency savings just aren't up to snuff. And what we've heard from Bankrate in their annual survey is that they are seeing that Americans are starting to address the issue, saying, all right, look, it's these interest rates on credit cards have gotten out of control. And they really have this dual mandate now. They are focused on two things, paying off the credit card debt and putting aside more money. keep in mind, we talked about having 6 months of savings set aside, but that number has been going up a lot in terms of rent. We know has been increasing at record levels in recent years. Same with the food budget, and the electricity and the insurance. Oh boy, insurance rates. So those are some of the things that even if you think you reach that 6-month target, you find out it's a moving target.
And I would imagine, Rory, this tends to be cyclical as well with the economy. If we're in an inflationary period and people either in actuality or they perceive they have less money, I would imagine they're putting away less money for emergencies.
Right. And we haven't seen inflation like this, obviously, in 20, 25 years. So that's why some of these numbers have been thrown off. And people who thought they said, hey, I made the 3-month mark. Well, suddenly their rent went up a couple of $100 a month. The insurance on the car went up $100, and suddenly they don't have what they thought set aside. And look, if you are a saver, these higher interest rates have been good. You're getting more of a saving of the interest paid to you every month. But for the vast majority of Americans, there just isn't that rainy day fund that's there.
Our thanks to national correspondent Rory O'Neill. And it's certainly something that it's not a pleasant thought to think about. But I mean, life can change radically and quickly for people. And it is something you are wise to plan ahead for.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't turn to your credit cards if they're already maxed out, I mean, your options are pretty limited for what you can do if you're in a pinch. I mean, not everyone has their parents or a sibling that's willing to help out.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that with the pandemic and everything that happened there, a lot of people went to their credit cards and they're still trying to get out of that debt, and that's not going to help.
Yeah, and the current state of the economy, even though there are economic indicators that look like the stock market's doing very, very well, the reality for people with the cost of everything from cars to groceries to a lot of people just don't have as much money as they used to have at their disposal. All right, as we roll forward, we'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and then we'll take a look weather-wise at Tropical Storm Alberto reaching landfall today at the Mexican coastline, how it will continue to affect us. WOAI News Time, 7:45.
And we're back.
Woohoo!
$56 instead of $57.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, no. Bummer. All right, so for at 8:40 when we're doing the picking, I've got, let's see, what do I got here? Joaquin, Tabmaster, and Kemper will be our top three.
Okay.
All right. I'll remind you when we get there.
Tabmaster, Joaquin, and Kemper.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I hope Charlie doesn't walk in.
Well, if he does, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric, we do have a clock and we're supposed to get out at certain times. Yes, you are correct. And good morning, Eric.
Yeah, and Eric, that clock looks a little bit something like this on the rundown. So in the next segment, it typically runs 7:50 to 7:57, but we've got an
issue. We've got
an issue. We have to get out 1 minute early at 7:56.
Yeah, that'll work. Thank you for doing that. Uh-oh, it's magic. So I guess the latest is tropical storm warnings have been discontinued in Texas.
Yes. And Alberto has made landfall.
Yes.
So another disturbance being watched.
Yes. You are correct, sir. Hi-oh. It's magic. Here's what it says right here. I'll be out of the office Thursday the 13th, Thursday the 20th, Tuesday the 25th, and Monday, July 15th. Oh, he also says if anything changes, I will let you know. Oops. Look, it's Siobhan.
Okay, welcome in. Good morning. Eric, Tim, Echo, Sleepy, welcome in. 27 of you right now. Welcome.
Man, they're getting it out west big time.
Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together, then we'll talk about Tropical Storm Alberto, which has made landfall in Mexico this morning. But first, Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
3 people in Mexico are dead from Tropical Storm Alberto, which has made landfall near the Mexico-U.S. border. President Biden is prepping for his face-off with former President Trump next Thursday, and San Antonio is planning its 4th of July celebration at Woodlawn Lake Park. We'll have more coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Showers early, becoming steady rain later today. Highs in the mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers, highs in low 90s. Saturday, a few clouds early. Otherwise, mostly sunny, highs in the low 90s. 76 degrees in Terrell Hill, 77 in Alamo Heights, and 75 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 7:52.
San Antonio's first news, Mr. T. Tim Merriman, Charity McCurdy. I'm Chris Duell. As Charity just reported, Tropical Storm Alberto has made landfall this morning in Mexico near the Mexico-Texas border. In the meantime, Texas and Mexico continuing to see soaking rainfall and a chance of lingering coastal flooding. And there is another disturbance that's being watched for its development on the heels of Alberto in the Gulf of Mexico. So Charity is probably going to be this way throughout the summer, keeping an eye on the tropics, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Atlantic. for all of these systems that may be coming in.
Yeah, well, NOAA warned us it was going to be a very active hurricane season, so no surprise there. But, Alberto, I think it all depends on where you were as far as the impacts. Along the Texas coast, they saw 5 to 10 inches of rain. There was definitely street flooding reported in Galveston, Jamaica Beach, and Surfside Beach. There was some power outages as well. 3 people died in Mexico, and I think that's where you're going to see the lingering effects as it's made landfall.
Yeah, and we will still see some rain here in San Antonio as a byproduct of Alberto, but it looks like this afternoon's our best chance of getting some more rain today. You'll see a few showers, early in the day, but this afternoon we have a better chance this afternoon of getting some rain.
Yeah, you think about yesterday and today, and we were talking with a number of meteorologists about this, including Ray Stachik from the Weather Channel, and yesterday Chris Suchan, chief meteorologist at News 4 San Antonio. And while you would look at that cone of where tropical storm as it developed, Alberto was going to head into Mexico, that wide swath really covered all of the Texas coastline. And then, as we experienced here in San Antonio and South Central Texas, rolled into our area and kept us wet pretty much throughout the afternoon and evening yesterday and into today.
I'm definitely relieved that it wasn't a bust. I'm glad we got rain. It wasn't as much as they were predicting. They were saying 2 to 4 inches initially, but as the models started to kind of tighten where it would land and where those outer bands would hit, I think we landed at near an inch in Bexar County, which isn't bad.
No, we'll take that in. We need all the rain we can get. And we got to understand, this is not an exact science. Mother Nature's going to do what Mother Nature does.
Yeah.
She can change course on anything, anytime. So yes, it was, we didn't get as much rain as they thought we would get, but I think they were just getting us prepared in case there was that much.
Better to be prepared in a situation like that. And of course, today it is the summer solstice at 3:50 p.m. Central Time. Summer officially arrives. It'll be the first day of summer, the longest day of the year. And Charity, a lot of people at the summer solstice go to Stonehenge in England. Did you see those yahoos defacing Stonehenge, painting it orange in protest? I think we should wring the necks of people like that.
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully they can easily clean that up, but I guess they got our attention, which is what they were going for. This is the group Just Stop Oil, I guess, is taking credit for it.
Yeah, what's the deal with the orange? Because they did the same thing on the private planes. We saw a video of them going through a fence and spraying private planes orange. What's the deal with orange?
I don't get it.
Isn't paint made from petroleum products?
I would think so.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
I mean, again, if you have protests and you have a cause, and apparently these people have a problem with petroleum companies and oil, I think there's better ways to get the public to see your way of thinking if you want to try to enlighten them to your view. Defacing Stonehenge and defacing the airplanes at the airport are just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think they've defaced some classic works of art as well. So there's no limit, apparently, to what they're willing to do.
Absolutely awful. Lots more coming up. Charity McCurdy with all the big stories you need to know at the top of the hour. Then we've got a big 8 o'clock hour coming your way. WOAI News Time 7:56. Sure.
Here we are.
We are back.
All right, so we've got these 3 as our finals. All right.
Okay. Tab Master, Joaquin, and Kemper.
I would keep expecting him to walk in.
I keep looking. Yeah.
He's going to hurry to get here by 8:20, and oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Right on time. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Certainly.
Yeah, those seats that they're sitting on.
Yeah.
They got those from Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. The guy that owned the place bought like 2,000 seats. So those wooden ones that you see right there are from the original Ebbets Field in New York.
Wow.
Very cool. I can't wait. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. It's about time we did something.
So does this take the place of the Field of Dreams game?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does. Although that might be later because
that tends to be in August.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Hang on, let's just check real quick, Chris, because that's a good question. I hope not, because I like that Field of Dreams game.
Yeah, I think they should do that every year.
I think it's scheduled to do it every year.
David Munoz, everybody.
Oh, no game this year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it says no Field of Dreams game in 2024. Future commitment unclear. Oh, man.
It needs to become a tradition.
That's the reason why, is because they're playing in Alabama for Juneteenth.
Okay.
That's why. Okay.
Now, why wasn't this game on Juneteenth?
Well, that's a good question.
I looked at it yesterday.
It should have been.
Yeah.
You want to do it right? Do it right.
Charity has all the big stories here. I'm going to stretch.
45 seconds. I'm going to head outside and check the weather. Bye now.
Eight o'clock is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, Tropical Storm Alberto is blamed for 3 deaths as it's made landfall. President Biden's prepping for his debate with Trump, and SAWS looks to find heavy water users. Details ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday: cloudy this morning, scattered showers this afternoon, a high of 85, chance of showers tonight, a low of 75. Get a move on. It is 77 degrees. Well, Tropical Storm Alberto has made landfall in Mexico. The first named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season has been dumping heavy rain on the Texas coast and made landfall early today on the northeast coast of Mexico, where at least 3 people have already been killed by Alberto. Maximum sustained winds from the storm are up to 50 miles per hour, and up to 3 feet of storm surge is possible along the Texas coast from Mexico to Louisiana. Here's Fox Weather's Robert Ray with more from Corpus Christi.
The entire Texas coastline from Mexico all the way up to Louisiana and even into places like Lake Charles, southwest Louisiana, all experiencing Tropical Storm Alberto, the first system of the year and what could be an historic season according to the National Hurricane Center and the forecast that is predicted. In Corpus Christi, Texas, Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
Meantime, Governor Abbott issued a disaster declaration for 51 Texas counties.
The storm is causing widespread showers, even though Texas is missing the brunt of it. Among the counties included in the declaration are Bexar, Atascosa, and Bandera counties, as well as counties in far south Texas and along the Texas Gulf Coast. Alberto is expected to cause ongoing coastal flooding through this week. Emergency response teams remain on standby as Abbott urges all Texans in at-risk areas to remain weather aware and heed the guidance of state and local officials. Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
San Antonio City Council will vote today on proposed higher fines and a new surcharge for heavy water users. SAWS officials say drought restrictions already in effect aren't doing enough to save water. If council members approve, the new restrictions will take effect immediately, but higher fines and surcharges won't happen for another month. Well, we're 1 week away from debate night, and President Biden is spending this week prepping for next week's exchange with former President Trump. Fox's Jared Halpern has more on Decision 2024.
President Biden is spending a lot of time between now and the debate out of Washington, scheduled to spend several days at Camp David for debate prep.
The president could be president anywhere. We have the infrastructure to do just that.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre won't detail how President Biden's time will be divided.
But I can tell you this, the president's going to continue to stay squarely focused on his duty as president of the United States.
A second debate between the current president and former president is scheduled for September in Washington. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And this comes as a new Fox News national survey shows President Biden with a slight edge over former President Trump for the first time since October. Well, the Supreme Court is expected to release more decisions on controversial cases. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has more.
Supreme Court justices could soon rule on whether to preserve a federal law that prohibits people under domestic violence restraining orders from having guns. The case involves a Texas man accused of hitting his girlfriend and threatening to shoot her. Justice is also expected to decide whether the Sackler family, which used to control Purdue Pharma, maker of OxyContin, should be immune from future lawsuits linked to the opioid crisis. Purdue Pharma agreeing to pay $6 billion to settle thousands of claims against it. The High Court will weigh in on whether that deal is legal. And the court still has yet to rule on former President Trump's claim of immunity from federal election subversion charges after hearing arguments in April. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Well, two cyclists were hit by an accused drunk driver near Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on Monday in what is now a viral video. Fox 4's Alex Boyer has more.
They were looping DFW Airport, a popular circuit for group riders.
All of a sudden, something pushes me from behind, and then I can feel myself falling to the right. And that's pretty much the last thing I remember.
What Gephardt didn't know is that he and another cyclist were victims of a hit and run captured on video by a cyclist ahead of them.
I was unconscious for a number of minutes. I guess some people thought I wasn't breathing.
Gephardt said the SUV ran over his thigh. The video shows his helmet hitting the pavement. He credits his bike with saving him.
And the 21-year-old male driver has been charged with 2 counts of intoxication assault with the vehicle. At least 6 empty beer cans were found in his car. Bexar County Commissioner's Court is giving the green light to a tax incentive for the Toyota Motor Manufacturing plant. Commissioners this week approved a 10-year, 100% tax abatement for the plant, which plans to bring more than 400 jobs to the area. The company says it will invest more than $500 million in the project, which will expand existing facilities and add a new standalone building. And today marks the official start of summer.
The summer solstice is here. It's known as the first official day of summer because astronomers consider it the beginning of the season in the northern hemisphere, according to NASA. It's also called the longest day of the year. There are still 24 hours, but today will have the most daylight we'll see all year. The Old Farmer's Almanac says the summer solstice is not always on the same day. It currently shifts between June 20th, 21st, and 22nd. This year, the first day of summer is expected to be a scorcher, with heat advisory stretching from Indiana into the northeast U.S. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
It is 8:06, news at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T. Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Big 8 o'clock hour coming at you. Coming up at 8:20, White House correspondent John Decker. We are now a week away from that first presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. We'll get the latest from him. And coming right up, are you ready to vote for an AI candidate? That is actually a thing. National correspondent Aaron Real will have the latest on that coming right up. But first, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Showers early, becoming steady rain later today. Highs in the mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers. Highs in the low 90s. Saturday, a few clouds early. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Highs in the low 90s. It is 77 degrees at Lackland Air Force Base. 77 in Randolph. 76 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 8:10.
San Antonio's first news. Artificial intelligence is impacting all aspects of our lives, including politics. And apparently we've already reached the point where an AI profile has actually run for office. Let's talk about that with national correspondent Aaron Real. Aaron, what is this story about artificial intelligence beings running for political office?
Yeah, it's happening. It's here. It was only a matter of time. Actually, in Cheyenne, Wyoming, there was an individual named Victor Miller. He filed paperwork to run for mayor, but not for himself exactly. He was using a chatbot he named VIC, VIC. It stands for Virtual Integrated Citizen. And he said he would use the tech from OpenAI to make all political decisions. I have to tell you, I have heard VIC speak. He sounds trustworthy. Pretty incredible. Long story short, OpenAI shut this down pretty quick. They said it was in violation of their policy. But yeah, this is not the first time that we've seen, strange candidates. We have elected everything from dogs to dead people. So it was only a matter of time before AI got on the ballot. It isn't there yet, but we also see similar stuff in the UK. There was actually a candidate for parliament who was running on the independent ticket. By the way, Vic was not affiliated with a political party, so straight down the middle. But this one guy in the UK is using OpenAI. He says that he's going to ask every single political question to AI and come up with a decision. Listen, a lot of folks say that this is just tapping into a current zeitgeist and that this shouldn't be taken seriously. It's gimmicky. I don't know about that. I think that this is the first of what is to come.
Yeah, and Aaron, here in the U.S., a big debate right now between the Biden and Trump camps is whether AI was using those viral clips of the president freezing while attending events. I mean, how can voters be sure?
You can't right now. You really can't. And we also had those robocalls from Biden, who wasn't Biden during the primaries in New Hampshire. This is going to come on strong and fast and furious, and it's hard to regulate. Regulation and laws always lag behind real time. That's, you can only regulate what you know, and we don't yet know what this is going to be. And honestly, at this point, I think people are so disenchanted with the current political candidates and the system that they're like, hey, if, an intelligent, I don't want to say being, but entity that has access to all the known knowledge of history and the world and humanity based on what the internet tells it, perhaps it's better than a dead person or most politicians in Congress.
Yeah, see, what they should do is just say that you can't run for office unless you have a pulse. Because that leaves AI out, dead people out. Yeah. There you go.
Our thanks to national correspondent Aaron Real. As we roll forward, we are a week away from the first presidential debate. White House correspondent John Decker is tracking what a victory might look like for Donald Trump or Joe Biden. That's coming up. WOAI News Time 8:14.
Okay. AI is going to be the death of us, according to Kay. She's right.
Yeah.
She's right. Oh, man. No answer back. Oh, there it is. Yep. He's not going to make it. Ooh, that's a good point, Kay. Will that gag order affect Trump in the debate?
Yes, that's correct.
Interesting. Uh-oh, one more came in.
We got no pags. We have a little more time.
Oh, we've got another one. See what you think of this one real quick. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, shit. What do you want now? Oh, he fucked up. Oops.
Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together, then White House correspondent John Decker with a preview of the presidential debate just 1 week from now. But Mr. T, we've been talking about the Broadway Bank partnering with the San Antonio Food Bank for a program called Summer Snacks for Kids that we can all get involved in because more than 200,000 students locally living in low-income households in Bexar County are at risk for food insecurity over the summer.
Yeah, so what you can do is go by any of the Broadway Bank financial centers here in Bexar County, pick up a box. On the side of the box is listed all the things you can put in the box, and then you bring it back to Broadway Bank, and they'll distribute it. Or you can just go to the Broadway Bank, give them $35, tell them it's for summer snacks for kids.
Very, very cool. And next Tuesday morning, June 25th, at the Broadway Bank location in Leon Springs, in the morning after the show, you, Charity, and I will go out there. And
as soon as we can get out there,
we'll go hang out, and we'd love to see you out there. Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
A tropical storm warning has been lifted for Texas, but continues along the Mexico coast as Alberto has made landfall. A Fox News poll is showing Biden ahead of Trump for the first time since October, and today marks the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. We'll have more coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Showers early, becoming steady rain later today. Highs in the mid 80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers. Highs in low 90s. Saturday, few clouds early. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Highs in the low 90s. It is 77 degrees in Terrell Hill, 77 at City Base, and 76 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time 820.
San Antonio's first news. That's Mr. T, Tim Merriman, Charity McCurdy. I'm Chris Duell, and we are 1 week away from the first presidential debate on CNN, and White House correspondent John Decker is with us with a preview. John, as a White House correspondent, you have covered each of these candidates, one a president, one a former president, very, very closely. How much prep time do you think they're putting in to getting ready for this debate?
Well, I cover the current president. That's Joe Biden. He's going to be spending the next week or so at Camp David. He travels there today as far as debate preparation is concerned. And it really is a lot that goes into this. You're talking about a 90-minute long debate, 2 commercial breaks, but that's a long period of time. You do a radio show, 90 minutes is long. To be sharp mentally and physically for that period of time. We're talking about an 81-year-old versus a 78-year-old. So there's that to be prepared for. And then all the various issues that will come to play during this debate, the foreign policy issues, the domestic policy issues, the political issues, all of that will come out during the course of the 90 minutes. And so that's Joe Biden heading out to Camp David. Donald Trump is doing his debate prep at Mar-a-Lago. I don't think it's going to be as structured for Donald Trump as it is for Joe Biden, but that is what makes Donald Trump comfortable with this debate prep. He thinks he can wing it to a certain extent. I caution even the best and brightest of people, you can't just wing it with these types of events. You really do have to prepare.
And John, with the Trump camp zoning in on claims that Biden's not mentally fit to hold office, I imagine the president will have an arsenal of zingers ready to go.
Well, I would imagine so. They often fall by the wayside if you just have these canned lines ready to go. People pay more attention to just the regular substance of the debate. But to your point, Charity, when you have lowered expectations, and we've seen this with Joe Biden and the State of the Union address, you typically exceed those low expectations, that low bar. So Joe Biden has that going for him going into this first debate, but he still has to deliver. And that's what this debate prep is all about, preparing for Donald Trump, who he's faced before, and all that he can expect from him during the course of this 90 minutes.
So how is this gag order on former President Donald Trump, how is that going to affect him in this debate?
Oh, it won't affect him at all. I mean, he can, if he wishes to do so, spend as much time as he wishes bashing the Justice Department, bashing Merrick Garland, bashing Juan Merchan, the judge presiding over his case in New York, or Jack Smith, the special counsel. He's permitted to do any of that, even with that limited gag order that's in place. So it shouldn't have any impact on the debate that's upcoming.
And John, a new Fox News poll out showing Biden moving ahead of Trump, just barely in a national overall poll where previously Trump led Biden. Given how close this race is, John, does that make a debate like this all the more critical for both candidates?
Oh, absolutely. We'll come across so many different polls between now and November the 5th. The national polls, I don't pay as much attention to. And I think people need to keep that in mind. It's really the state polls in the battleground states that really matter the most: Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. The national polls, they're important, but they're not as important as to giving a sense about where things stand as it relates to the electoral college vote. But having said all that, you mentioned that Joe Biden has inched up with Donald Trump, surpassed him on that Fox poll. PBS has it at 49-49. So no matter which poll you're looking at, you can tell it's a really close race. And this debate is all important given how close this race is right now.
And John, the fact that there's no live audience in this debate, who stands to benefit more from that, Biden or Trump?
Oh, I've heard different opinions on that. I think that there's no doubting the fact that Donald Trump, derives energy from an audience. We see this at campaign rallies. He won't have that benefit as it relates here, but I've also heard on the flip side, maybe that means that Donald Trump will come across as more measured during the course of the 90 minutes, and that would work in his favor. I think that that's what some independents who are undecided are looking for as it relates to Donald Trump, that, he is a more measured presidential candidate this time around than perhaps he was, and the way he acted when he campaigned in 2016 and 2020, and when he served as president during the 4 years that he was in the White House.
He is our go-to guy on Decision 2024 and the presidency, White House correspondent and attorney John Decker. Coming up at 8:40, we're going to pick a winner from your talkbacks today. We've been talking about that viral bicycle video, bicyclists on the road with us. Your thoughts on that coming up. WOAI News Time, 8:26.
Sorry.
Woohoo! Tim says, will President Biden be wearing a wire for the proper answers?
They should check him for that. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So somebody talking to him in his ear?
Yeah.
Tell him, no, don't say that. Say this. Football.
It's getting closer.
I know it is.
Cowboys just disgust me.
Just
so much talent.
It's all Dak's fault.
Yeah. Well, it's
that big ass contract.
all of their freaking fault. But yeah, Dak is.
He handcuffed us.
Yeah.
Handcuffed. We can't do anything.
They blew it with him. They need to cut loose and start again.
Yeah. Okay. So Joaquin.
One more half hour.
Yep. But it is so much easier without
Correctamundo.
that right there.
I'm telling you, man, dark matter.
I'm going to check it out.
It just gets better and better and better.
And what's the premise? So I can explain it to my wife.
Let me see if I can.
Just a,
Well, there's
thumbnail.
a guy who's a physicist, but he wound up becoming a teacher. He has these big ideas. He's a physicist. So all of a sudden, he is kidnapped and thrown into a box and sent to another timeline. And as it turns out, Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
But he winds up going into another time and has to find his way back into this. So there's multiple timelines. In physics.
My wife will love that.
Yeah. So it's really,
Cindy will love that.
It's
Cindy
really good.
Cindy will dig that. Yes.
And it's 9 episodes. Last night was episode 8. Episode 9 drops next Wednesday.
Is it just one season only?
One season only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I like stuff like that.
And episode 8, it's now mind blowing.
Sounds like the whole thing is mind blowing.
It's really, really well done. I found a thing because something happened at the end of episode 7 that I didn't even fully grasp. There's a YouTube reviewer who walks you through.
It gives you
and you never want to go ahead,
right?
But you want to see after
and
you
go back and get a review, kind of like
I'll send you a link to that guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, real quick, guys.
But I mean, it's really, really good.
Cool.
Dark Matter, Apple TV Plus.
Hey, I have her stuff for promo tomorrow.
Then let's do it.
You want to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right after the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's Red Friday, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're gonna? Okay.
Yes.
And then Beamer and okay.
Yeah. Beamer, and we're giving away a guitar tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, and then we'll say you're off the hook.
Yeah,
she'll probably be happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. Tomorrow is Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Randy Beamer on the show tomorrow.
I texted him already, by the way.
Andrew has brought up. Eventually, we need to talk to Randy. Does he want to do every Friday instead of every other Friday?
Well, yeah. My only problem with that is knowing what
the terms are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he's willing to,
I mean, and I can't tell if. I mean, he might love the idea.
I know, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want him to think that we're just,
No. So, I mean, it would have to be brought up
in a conversational kind of thing.
Yeah,
Hey,
and ideally,
if you
like in
ever
person.
wanted to, you could come in every Friday or do every Friday.
Yeah.
Not, hey, will you?
Yeah,
Just
but
so you
we
could.
certainly don't want to overuse you or abuse you.
Right. I'm very worried about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All right. Here's Charity.
.32 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, the latest on Tropical Storm Alberto and more blockbuster rulings from the High Court could be issued today. Details ahead. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Weather Channel forecast for this Thursday. Cloudy skies this morning, some scattered showers this afternoon, a high of 85. Chance of showers tonight, a low of 75. Right now, 77 degrees. All regions of southeast Texas experienced severe weather after a tropical storm formed south of the state. Fox Weather's Craig Herrera has the latest from Padre Island.
Tropical storm Alberto has made landfall well south of here in Mexico, but the effects are still being felt. We could still see some tropical storm force winds up and down the Texas coast. Also some very large surf and some dangerous rip currents. A few times throughout the day, we may get a couple of isolated showers. Some of them will produce some brief heavy downpours. The chance for tornadoes continues through the morning hours. Things start to wane as we go through the afternoon, but the surf will still be up. And we'll continue to watch this, especially along the Texas coastline during high tides. As we go through Friday, things start to ease up just a bit. We continue to watch the tropics, though.
And Tropical Storm Alberto is prompting a disaster declaration for 51 Texas counties. Governor Abbott issued the declaration yesterday that includes Bear, Bandera, and Live Oak. Well, President Biden is now ahead of former President Trump in the latest Fox News general election matchup poll. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more on Decision 2024.
For the first time since October, President Biden is ahead of former President Trump in the Fox News poll by 2 points. The president's favored by women, specifically white women with college degrees, urban voters, and those over 65. Former President Trump is favored by men, white men without college degrees, and evangelical voters. Independents favor President Biden by 9 points. Fox pollsters say a shift in how voters feel about the economy may be playing a role. 32% say the economy is in good or fair shape. That is up 15 points from a low point in July 2 years ago. In a five-way race with Jill Stein and Cornel West, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets 10%, leaving President Biden with 43% support. That's just 1 point more than former President Trump. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
And the Supreme Court is expected to release more decisions on controversial cases. Here's Fox's Kristen Goodwin.
Supreme Court justices could soon rule on whether to preserve a federal law that prohibits people under domestic violence restraining orders from having guns. The case involves a Texas man accused of hitting his girlfriend and threatening to shoot her. Justice is also expected to decide whether the Sackler family, which used to control Purdue Pharma, maker of OxyContin, should be immune from future lawsuits linked to the opioid crisis. Purdue Pharma agreeing to pay $6 billion to settle thousands of claims against it. The high court will weigh in on whether that deal is legal. And the court still has yet to rule on former President Trump's claim of immunity from federal election subversion charges after hearing arguments in April. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Well, more legal trouble for Texas rapper Travis Scott. He was arrested overnight in Miami. Jail records show the sicko mode singer is charged with trespassing and disorderly intoxication. Scott already posted a $650 bond. It's more work for his legal team, who just last month settled the last of the lawsuits that were filed after the 2021 Astroworld Music Festival tragedy. 10 people were killed during a stampede at Houston's NRG Stadium. Well, a suspected drunk driver in Texas seen on video running over two cyclists is now under arrest. Here's Fox's Shanley Painter.
31-year-old Benjamin Highlander is accused of slamming his vehicle into a group of cyclists near DFW Airport Monday, striking two. Both survived, but one had serious injuries. The harrowing moments all caught on camera. A man and woman riding in broad daylight, the SUV not even slowing down before striking the two from behind. After the driver hits the two cyclists, the car swerves and runs over the man who had fallen to the ground. The driver never stopped and kept on driving. The other cyclist in the group ride and followed this vehicle until police arrest the driver.
Officers searched the car and they found 6 empty beer cans. It is 8:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute, but first, a check of your money and the world of business. We welcome in Ed Corey live at the Bloomberg News Desk. Thanks, Ed. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
What's up, Roots Rock Reggae?
Roots Rock Reggae. What a cool name.
I
man.
actually like all three.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Yeah, we wish we got more rain. There's another system out there in the Gulf. There may be more coming. All right, we were going to pick a winner. Will they be able to hear them? Because you're playing them, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. They will be able to.
Yeah.
Actually, if they can vote real quick, we can take their votes. No, I'm
Yes.
just kidding.
Joaquin, Tabmaster, and Kemper.
Correct.
The top two
are going to get tickets.
Are getting tickets, and somebody's getting a guitar.
Stand by, Chris.
Okay. San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman, Charlie Parker had those were the days. I'm Chris Duell. Andrew Zimmel wearing his retro Fiesta Colors Spurs baseball cap, flying the Millennium Falcon solo. He is directing and choosing camera angles on our YouTube live video stream if you want to ever hang out with us. And we just got Roots Rock Reggae jumped in with us.
I like all three.
I do too. Jumped in with us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, look for 1200 WOAI. You will find us. And we've been talking about this all morning, and Charity just reported on it in the newscast there at the bottom of the hour. That horrible video out of the Dallas area happened near Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. In fact, the driver, an American Airlines cargo employee, runs over two bicyclists. He reportedly did not pass a sobriety test. There were beer cans in his vehicle. Thank God the bicyclist survived, but one of them apparently in bad condition. So we asked the question on the Talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app, what about cyclists sharing the road, bicyclists sharing the road with vehicles? Is it working out? Should there be changes to the laws? Do we need more bike lanes? How do you feel about it? And we have something two. We've narrowed it down to three, and two people are going to win here, Mr.
Yeah,
T.
the top two are going to win tickets to the music of Led Zeppelin with the San Antonio Philharmonic Orchestra. That's Saturday at the Majestic Theater. Plus, one of those winners out of the five this week will win a Michael Kelly guitar.
Wow. And I've been to that Michael Kelly guitar website.
Those are really nice guitars,
very
actually.
good guitars. Very, very cool. All right. We have narrowed it down to three. So, Charity, we're picking two.
Okay, are you
Two of
ready?
these three.
Yeah, let's go.
Here's the first one, Joaquin.
Hey guys, good morning. It's Joaquin, your Uber driver out of San Antonio. I see these guys on the road all the time, running stop signs, running stoplights. The entitlement that they display, like the arrogance, is just unreal. The other question I have is, why are they allowed on the road? They don't pay road taxes. San Antonio spent a lot of money making bike lanes for them, and I see them, they don't even use them. They're still on the road, refuse to use the bike barricades and the lanes that has been placed for them. Just a question.
Okay.
And Joaquin's an Uber driver, so he's
Yep.
out there driving a lot. He sees a lot of this.
All right, and now we'll go to Tabmaster.
Good morning, crew. Tabmaster here. What I have to say about the bicycles on the road kind of goes along with what Charity said. You know, they can't go the speed limit. What are they doing out there? If there's not a shoulder, they don't belong. I don't want to see anybody get run over. If it was because of a drunk driver, well, that could have happened to anything, even another car. But nevertheless, they don't have the right of way. They shouldn't be on the roads, and neither do roosters. They have no right of way either.
Tabmaster has issues with roosters.
One of these days, we're going to have to hunt him down and find out what's going on between him and Rooster.
Yeah.
Because it's very entertaining.
Maybe
but
a rooster traumatized him.
it's very possible.
At one point in his life.
And here is Kemper.
Morning. Love Charity's statement of being a mugshot elitist. I'm still laughing at that one. But cyclists in the roadway may have the right of way, but to me, they are the biggest risk takers of all. In today's world, with all of the drug and alcohol use, along with road rage. And when I had 4 little girls in the car, I know I was a distracted driver. Be safe out there, you guys.
That's a good point.
Wow. Yeah. Kemper always brings it.
It is tough, isn't it? So we're going to let you go first, Jerry.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
Well, let's just go one by one. Joaquin.
Yes, Joaquin.
Okay, Joaquin. Do we all agree on Joaquin?
I say
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
All right. Now, Tabmaster. Charity? It's hard, isn't it?
It is. I got to go with Kemper over Tabmaster.
Okay. I'll go with Tabmaster.
Wow, you're going to make me break that?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
The
Chris.
pressure's on.
Do I have a coin?
Oh, sorry. I work in radio. I have no coins.
We love Kemper. Didn't Kemper win Barry Manilow tickets?
Yes, she did.
All right. Only because, and Kemper, you will win again, and we love you. And it's hard to vote against you. Only because Kemper won Barry Manilow tickets. I will go Tabmaster.
All right. So Joaquin and Tabmaster have won tickets to see the music of Led Zeppelin with the
forgive me, Kemper, because I love you.
Yeah,
So,
with the San Antonio Philharmonic Orchestra this Saturday at the Majestic Theater. And one of these people, one of them is going to win Michael Kelly guitar tomorrow.
Yes. And now if Tabmaster does a talkback tomorrow, high probability I vote for, Kemper.
Yeah.
High probability I vote for Kemper tomorrow.
So just letting you know, Kemper.
Yeah, I will be predisposed to vote for you tomorrow.
He's rigging it.
Yeah,
Right here.
No, I'm not rigging it. The only way the election is is if I lose. So yeah, it's a fake news, Kemper. All right, quick break. We'll get you caught up on traffic and weather coming up. WOAI News Time, 8:45.
Hello.
I feel bad, Kemper, if you're in here. I don't think you are today. I feel bad not voting for you. But you made me break the tie. You had to go with Tabmaster.
Damn right. I was making you break the tie. I wasn't going to do it.
There are donuts here. Did you see that?
Yeah, I have one. And they're warm.
I so shouldn't do it.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, I'm doing the steroid. I've gained like
it's all muscle.
I've gained like 5 pounds this week. There's donuts out there. Did you see the donuts? Okay. They're warm.
I have them. You ready? Yes. 609 for Joaquin, 624 for Tabmaster. Tabmaster has a phone number. All we have are email address for Joaquin. Okay.
And if you talk to Tabmaster, hey, what's the deal with roosters?
Yeah, find out. See if you can find out. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Yes, correct.
Yeah, so I've got this viral infection, or hopefully it's gone now. So they gave me steroids and antibiotics. So I've been taking steroids
It's all muscle, though,
for a
Chris.
week, but
It's all
I've gained like at least 5 pounds.
It's all muscle.
I got on the scale today. I was like 211. I think I was like 205 a week ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, when I quit smoking, I've gained 15 pounds already.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's like I keep telling Cindy, well, maybe I should start smoking again.
What? No.
Yeah, it's only because ice cream's much better now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's my own fault. It's my.
Yeah,
it's
I
my-
went viral with a viral infection.
You did go viral.
Yeah.
Wow, Shipley's donuts, and they were hot. They were
Oh,
warm.
my God.
Oh my God.
I
You
might
ain't
just
kidding.
do one.
Yeah, I can only do
My-
one.
My resistance is futile.
It is, Chris.
Thank you, Kay. We appreciate you and everybody in here. A lot of you, Tim, Eric, Kay. A lot of you we see in here a lot, and we appreciate that. And Tommy Miller, and if we see your name, we tend to say hello. We want to be
inclusive.
And I know some of you don't chat, and that's okay too. But if we see you, we say hello.
Okay, right after we sign off with the people, we can take care of business.
Yes. 1 week from tonight, the big debate.
I know.
You too, Tim. Take care.
That's huge, man. Must see TV for me.
Decker made a great point because it's like the State of the Union. Everybody's expecting Biden to suck. And if he's just adequate, they'll go, ooh, he was better than we thought he'd be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I can see that. That's another reason why I like summer. Shorts.
Yes.
Bikinis, shorts,
Mm-hmm.
It's the usual stuff.
Tommy Miller, you have a great day as well.
You out of here, Tommy?
Eric. I think they're just anticipating our abrupt ending. We try to say goodbye at the end of the show.
We do. I know we seem like we're in a hurry to get out of here. We just have other things we have to do after the show that we'd like to get done just so we could get out of here.
Yeah, we got to record a promo for the next one.
And have a post-show meeting.
Sleepy was... See, whenever I do these 3 dots,
I know.
I often can't read the most
because
recent...
of that emoji thing.
Yeah, there it is. Often things get busy around here around 8 a.m. until 9 or 10. When users start showing up, I don't do a lot of chatting at this time. All right.
I see.
Fair enough, Sleepy.
Oh, man. Little tip for everybody. If you need an oil change, today's the day to go to your dealership and get it done because their computers are down. Just saying, not saying you'll get a free one, but it could happen.
It could happen.
I've heard. That's going to cost them a fortune because they couldn't sell any cars yesterday because of it. They could make deals, but they couldn't finalize them.
That's amazing.
It is. Whatever happened to before computers? What did they do? Handshakes, paper.
And can you imagine if you really wanted a car yesterday and you went through the process and you just wanted to
I'm sure they could work something out, but officially they couldn't sell. You know what I mean? If you're like me, who I've bought I don't know how many Toyotas now, I'm sure I could have driven out there with although it's not a smart move on their part to let me drive off. What if I decide that's the day I'm just going to take off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I left it over there at South Park Mall with the keys in it. Hopefully it's still there. All right, ready? Stand by.
Yeah. Just ahead of headlines, traffic, and weather together. And then we will wrap this puppy up in our final moments of spring.
Yes.
It is still springtime until 3:50 p.m. Charity McCurdy, what stories are you following?
Tropical storm Alberto made landfall off Mexico's coast as its effects on the Texas coast have subsided. The Biden-Trump debate is 7 days away, and today marks the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. We'll have more coming up. Right now, traffic and weather together.
Some showers early, steady rain this afternoon, highs in the mid-80s. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers, highs in the low 90s. Saturday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny, highs in the low 90s. It is 77 degrees in Alamo Heights, 77 in Leon Springs, and 76 here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 8:53.
San Antonio's first news, our thanks to Andrew Zimmel, flying the Millennium Falcon and directing our YouTube broadcast. Thanks to everybody hanging out on YouTube. There's a live chat. You can chat with us and other viewers in real time. Look for 1200 WOAI on YouTube. And Charity, summer arrives at 3:50 p.m. How will you celebrate?
Being outside because the high is only 85 for the first day of summer. Not bad. I'm going to soak it all in while I can before it gets just absolutely miserable.
I don't call it miserable. I call it summer.
Summer.
Yeah,
My favorite season.
Yeah, it could be nice out on the back porch today, the screened-in porch, because it's going to, like she said, 85. That's sleeping weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get out there with a nice breeze, get a little nap in.
Now, is this pool weather for you, Chris? Or
yes, it is.
Okay.
It's above 80, right?
Yeah, it's above 80. So, although with that rain overnight, the pool might be a little chillier. That water might be a little chillier.
Shrinkage.
Yeah.
It happens.
Could be. Yeah, could be. Tomorrow on the show, Charity McCurdy, the man, the myth, the legend, the Elvis of San Antonio television news anchors, the beautiful, the talented Randy Beamer will join us.
And his Polar Pop. I can't wait to find out what he's drinking. Is it Diet Coke? Is that what it is? Is that what we're supposed to believe?
That's what he says.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't actually tasted it.
You can pour anything into that Polar Pop. Not that I'm accusing Randy Beamer.
But he likes to get one that he can get inside of it. They're big. When he brings that one in, it's big.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yep. And we're going to give away a guitar tomorrow morning.
So how are we going to do that? Just throw all names into the hat?
All 5 winners from this week will get thrown into a hat, and we'll make Andrew pull the name, so it'll be his fault.
Yes.
If you don't win.
Because I don't want to be blamed, just like I was blamed for not picking Kemper as a winner today.
Tisk, tisk.
Was your fault.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, but it
What
was.
can I tell you? What can I tell you? All right. Well, everybody enjoy summer when it arrives at 3:50 p.m. We will see you next summer, which will be tomorrow at 5 a.m.
But by the way, our playlist on Playlist Friday tomorrow is Summer.
Okay.
Summer has the playlist.
Mungo Jerry, I'm hoping.
Of course.
Little Mungo Jerry.
Of
involved.
course.
Very, very nice. Charity McCurdy has all the stories you need to know about as spring runs out. And after that, we got a little Glenn Beck, a lot of Glenn Beck for you. But first, your Sean Hannity Morning Minute. Say goodbye to the
All right,
people.
everybody, have a great day.
Adios, muchachos.
Enjoy summer.
Thanks for being with us.